opinions expressed by tonight's guest do not represent the opinions or position of Spaced Out Radio, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with SOR Media. Listener discretion is advised.
Oh man, there's got to be something to listen to on this dial.
This message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. At 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, multiple unidentified objects were confirmed to have entered Earth's atmosphere. It is speculated that these objects are of extraterrestrial origin. The broadcast will quiet at this time for your safety.
Welcome to Spaced Out Saturdays as we light the void with Joe Root on Spaced Out Radio.
Ties we had formed, told all the lies to myself, while sleepwalking through it all.
You can follow Joe on Twitter at Lighting the Void, on Facebook at Lighting the Void, and you can call into tonight's show at 501-777-5631. You can also follow Joe at spacedoutradio.com.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed as done.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Why don't you talk into the microphone? I got a backup mic right here. Check 1, 2. Testing, testing. Yeah, they both working, and guess what? They don't like no feedback. What's up?
Now, let's fire the show up and light the void on Spaced Out Saturdays with your host, Joe Root.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Saturday. Tonight I am your host, Joe Root, and it's good to have you with us, and it's great to be here. Very honored to be here with you on this lovely cold Saturday in December the 16th on into December the 17th. We are actually out on the road investigating at Board Camp Crystal Mine, and that's exactly where I'm broadcasting from right now. So before we get into this thing, let us welcome in everyone listening on our affiliates, WQEE 99 Rock the Key down in Noonan, Georgia, home of the Walking Dead. We are live as well on the United Public Radio Network on 107.7 FM in New Orleans and over 160 countries around the world. We're also live on spacedoutradio.com, which is back up, by the way, Spreaker, and thefriends.fm. Now, we rock out every night with us to Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL, formerly of Guns N' Roses, currently of Art of Anarchy. Bumblefoot is the official sound of SOR. Also, you can check us out on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Give our Facebook page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. And you can follow me on Twitter at Lighting the Void as well. You can also subscribe to our new YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. Listen to us on iHeartRadio in the USA. Tune us in on TuneIn. Download our shows from iTunes. And, of course, our website is spacedoutradio.com. And if you go to patreon.com for as low as $1 a month, you can become a patron of Spaced Out Radio. Now, if you want to take part in the show, sign into one of our chat rooms on Spreaker, on the UPRN chat room, and on Facebook at the SOR Space Travelers Club. Or if you're on Twitter, just go to the hashtag Spaced Out Radio, and I will get to your questions in there as well. Now, the call-in number for tonight is 501-777-5631. If you want to call in and ask any questions, go right ahead. If you head to our website, for just $5 a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler as well. And as of right now, you can go to Spaced Out Radio Store, pick up a t-shirt, poster, or SOR sticker. We also have The Encounter online that deals with everything paranormal. You can check out the latest blog there as well. And if you've had an experience you can't explain, fill out an SOR Sightlines report. Tim Doyle from UFO Seekers and Leslie Mitchell Clark's Contact TV also has some great video viewing as well. Now, keep in mind that I am broadcasting from a far, far away from the shack and my home in Cane Creek, Arkansas. I am at Board Camp Crystal Mine doing an investigation where the levitating crystals and the orbs that we saw, the lights, the UFOs, they put us up in a house out here, and it's really nice. So I've set up the studio in a house, and that's where I'm broadcasting from. I love doing the show. I wouldn't count it out no matter where I'm at. So that's what we're doing. Now, with that said, there's not exactly a great internet service out here, so I'm broadcasting from my LTE tower. So if there is any tech issues on the terrestrial stations or whatever, I promise you the feed will get back up ASAP. Now, are you ready to meet the mind behind the Matrix and the Terminator films? Let's do this. Sophia Stewart, the website is matrixterminator.com, the mother of the Matrix, as she is so well known, who wrote an awesome book, The Third Eye, while she was studying cinema at the University of Southern California. Now, this awesome work was copyrighted and has been copyrighted since 1981, and it serves as the foundation and contains the core elements of the blockbuster films The Terminator and The Matrix. We will be discussing the upcoming Matrix movie and the truth behind the Matrix and Terminator films. Tonight, we're going to see how far the rabbit hole actually goes with the oracle and mind behind the Matrix herself. Now, the Matrix films are among the most artistically phenomenal and financially profitable film franchises in Hollywood history. These works have currently grossed over $25 billion, won 4 Oscars, and continue to generate revenue internationally. Now, she is currently continuing her epic work in the upcoming Matrix 4 movie, which she is destined to supersede the extraordinary success of The Matrix and The Terminator, established her as one of the most profound master writers of the 21st century. Are you ready to meet the Oracle herself? Sophia, this is really awesome. I've always wanted to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on Spaced Out Radio. It's a real blessing.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I've been excited about this for a minute. So I know everybody's been waiting and anticipating.
Right. Yeah. And I just, before we get into all of this, I know you've had to talk about this. I do want to clear this up because I did get an email stating that this is still controversial, but it's all based on a couple of internet articles. Are you the real mind behind the Matrix? And, based on my research and what I've studied with Ryan Gable, that you won your court case in 2014, and you are the actual mind behind the Matrix. And now I'm saying that not because I doubt it, but just for any doubters out there, could you kind of clear that up for us? Because I think there's a lot of disinfo out there.
Yeah, it really needs to be cleared up. And let me tell you guys, maybe Trump has something there with the media, because the media has got to be fake-ass media. I'm sorry to say it, but how can 4 media outlets cover my second court case in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah federal court, and they do not let people know that I won the case? Could it be because you won't support the studios that's stolen from me, like Warner Brothers and 20th Century Fox and James Cameron and the Wachowski brothers and Gail Ann Hurd? Could that be the reason why they blanketed me out? And they put all these bloggers on the internet, and internet is not mainstream media. The mainstream media can get sued, and people can be with lawsuits for defamation and slander against me. But on the internet is just a free fall. And Joseph, lots of people believe what they read on the internet.
That's right, yeah.
See what I'm saying? So
Yep.
That's where the confusion and the ignorance come in.
Right.
But you ask yourself, how can you go to my website? And my website is matrixterminator.com. That's right, www.matrixterminator.com or truthaboutmatrix.com, and read the legal brief, and can call up the courthouse and ask if this is true. If you really want the truth, right?
Right. Yes, you can.
And you don't go with the internet. So how can court dockets be confused with the internet. The truth be confused with the internet, which is not real media. But everybody is believing the internet instead of reading the court documents. Now, there was never any dispute who owned the Matrix and Terminator. I always owned the franchise by copyright. And the government gave me, and the government meaning the Library of Congress, the Copyright Office, gave me copyrights to all the derivative movies. That's right. The derivative movies are nothing but films. I've had books out there for years. The Third Eye Matrix since 2005, Amazon everywhere, and Matrix 4 for 7 years since 2010. And I'm telling you that people are buying it on demand, meaning as soon as you order it and expedite it, you got it. They're buying it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Nook Press, the new bookstore where you can walk in Atlanta, Georgia, and physically get the book off the shelf, and my website, truthaboutmatrix.com and Matrix Terminator. So how can you be confused? I've written several books.
Right.
My books are out there. You've seen what I've written. And if I didn't write The Matrix and Terminator, it's 3 to 4 billion fan base around the world. Now, don't you think they would have crucified me?
Right, exactly.
But
yeah.
here these people,
exactly.
Yeah, but here's these doubters who have never seen anything Cameron has ever written, nothing the Wachowski's ever written, nothing that Warner Brothers at 20th Century Fox. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So how can you doubt me, but you never seen anything, and you think the movie is something written, and it's not. It is film. And what they did was they adapt my script and my book to the screen. That's right, you heard it right. My book and my script was the source work. So when you see the movies, you're seeing my source work. And if you don't believe it, get the book. You remember the old saying that certain people do not read? Well, that's where ignorance comes from.
Right.
Ignorance is not a bad word. Look at the word ignorance. Ignore is sitting inside of ignorance because people are ignoring facts.
Yeah, well, let's be honest, too. Fact-checking at websites, I mean, real fact-checking for law things at websites like Snopes.com or whatever isn't going to get you anywhere. You're going to be in a circle of disinfo. I had to learn that for myself.
And let me tell you about that Snopes. Many of fans have gone and got my legal documents. I'm talking about tons of it. Many of you guys out there later on, when you call in, there's a lot of you listening that you're witnesses. They have came to Snoop and tried to get them to change all of that old stuff from back in 2005 with my first California case. Do you know that's the only thing that's floating around on the internet is the old case that got dismissed? I didn't lose and they didn't win anything. They simply wanted the judge to dismiss the case so they would not get prosecuted for RICO because they had a RICO case for theft of copyright, a criminal case, which the government has not addressed. Just like the foreign people said overseas, the government is the one that's violating the black woman's rights because they would not protect my copyrighted work. That was the issue.
Right, yeah.
You don't go to court to fight over your property. The judge wants to know who owns it. He doesn't tell you what you own. You know you own the car by the title. You know you own the house by the deed. You know you own the television by the receipt. Come on, the bill of sale.
Yeah, you're just having to use the court system to reiterate something that you already own, which you shouldn't have to do, but, you had to do it.
Well, you have to, no. You don't go to court to reiterate. You go to court to file for the damages, for the profit. Because if you use my car and you made $1 million using my car, that money is profit minus your investment is my money, the profit. And if you took my house and you made $1 billion off of it, well, I'm entitled to the profit minus your investment. So that's what you go to court for. You file a lawsuit for money. You don't go to the court to ask the judge what the hell you own. You already know what you own.
Right. You're right.
What if you have stolen? Because you know this in the school system. Let me do like the Staples singers. Let me take you there. I'll take you there. Let's go back to school when you got your coat stolen and your shoes. Say your coat was stolen and your name is under the label in the coat. And you have to go to the principal. Well, the principal is like the judge. The principal is not going to decide who owns it. Mm-hmm. He wants to see who enters the evidence in so he can award or give the punishment to whoever needs to be punished or whoever needs to be their property returned.
That's a good point.
He doesn't go in there and tell you, okay, Joseph, you own the coat, and Bobby didn't steal it from you. No. Your mom wrote your name under the label, so now he has to punish Bobby.
Well,
but in a court, you got to pay for the money.
Right.
It's the money punishment.
Well, I got to say, your work.
Who's making it?
I mean, your work has changed so many people's lives. I don't doubt at all that it's your work, especially after checking out the original work myself. I don't doubt it one bit. And I mean, it's way more than obvious. But, you know, what I've always wondered, though, since I saw the movie The Matrix, and now that I'm knowing the real story, like, how did you start as a writer? I mean, what interested you in putting so much what I call, and maybe I'm still learning these esoteric truths and some of the coolest sci-fi stories ever told? I mean, what got you started in all this?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I would tell people I've been writing, you guys, ever since I was in the 7th grade, just like Venus and Serena was playing tennis back then in elementary, just like Tiger Woods playing golf, at 3 years old. You become a pro because you started out early. So by the time I got into college, I didn't even do any high school. I took the New York Regents and went into college, the New York Regents got the diploma, and then went into college and got the degree. But when I got into college, I had the most famous teachers, and they told me, some of them, that one of them, Max Siegel, former journalist with the New York Times, told me there was nothing he could teach me. I was already a master writer. And Big Apple playwright Paul Cherry was one of my teachers. Emil Kapuya, he's an essayist, a author, a critic. He was blown away by my work. In fact, he gave me an A for the course. His wife told him, because he said to me, he called me up the last day, and he said, you never followed any instructions. You just wrote whatever you wanted to. I didn't do any of the homework. I did the homework my own way. I wrote whatever I wanted to write. He would give me an A for it. So he was like, wow, I'm in a dilemma here with his wife. He never, did any of the homework. He just did what she wanted to write about. So his wife said, well, did she get A? And then he said, yes, she got A. So she said, we'll give her an A for the whole course. And so this is just letting you know some of the experience. And then one of my teachers was Leon Roth over at USC, USC being the University of Southern California Film School, one of the best in the country. I went to school with Marcus Allen, Ronnie Lott, these former pro football players.
Right, yeah.
And August Curley, Dennis Johnson, James Sinclair, the Moore brothers. The name just some of them, but you guys know these people from playing pro football. They were my classmates at USC. Kind of give you an idea.
Your background,
where I'm at
pretty stout background, yeah. But
go ahead.
What would you say influenced you the most to write The Third Eye? I mean, what a story! It's not like. Go ahead. Well, I mean, to me, it's not like this is not these are not things that come out of thin air. I mean, we are all experiencing, especially anybody that's on the path of seeking the truth, whether it's ufology, whether it's spiritual, whatever it is, it's all in there, And it just, sometimes I wonder, especially when watching these films, what inspired this person? You know, what changed in your life, or what made you do it?
What inspired me was God, because when I went and saw Star Wars came out in 1977. I'm from New York City. I was living at that time possibly in Harlem, where Diddy is from, and I used to go to the Apollo every weekend.
Cool.
I seen everybody performing at the Apollo, and the Sutton brothers used to own the Apollo back then. And so part of the time, the Apollo would be having these shows, like you guys saw a couple of nights ago, Steve Harvey was at the Apollo, Christmas show. And DMX was on there, and some other, Snoop and Boyz II Men. But anyway, when I was there watching a movie, Star Wars was there. And I saw Star Wars, and I knew spiritually, because I had read the Bible, that Star Wars, the wars in heaven, and that Lucas, and if you go on YouTube, Lucas is talking about this. He's talking about how the devil, Darth Vader, the devil, sailed from the light to the dark side. And I had read in Revelations, and this is why Terminator End Time Revelations, that the Christ was going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And I visualized what would happen, because in Revelation it says he would come back, but there was no story. Only the story of when he came the first time, but not what would happen if he had to come back and come and take on a body and be born of a woman again. So I visualized that the artificial intelligence and the machines would be so advanced that they would enslave mankind. And this is metaphysics. This is a metaphysics unheard of. What is the metaphysics? It's where you join science with spirituality.
Right.
That's metaphysics. To take spirituality and put it in the formula of a science fiction story. And so this is something unheard of. This is the first metaphysical movie to come upon the screen. Terminator came out October the 26th, 1984. My copyrights are 81, 83, and 84, before any Terminator was even heard of. My copyrights came before The Matrix. The Matrix came out March the 31st, 1999. But this is going to blow your mind. It's one epic story. Terminator is the prequel to The Matrix. Prequels meaning it is the beginning work of the epic story. So Sarah Connor is really Neo's mother. J.C. John Connors, Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, and Neo is an anagram, a thinking way of calling him the One, Neoone. Because in the Bible, John the Revelator was the only one to call Jesus the One. And so Neo is just a sneaky way of calling him the One. And what happens is, I'm dealing and talking about alien technology, past, present, and future time travel. Where did I get that from? If you go into the Bible and you look at the Old Testament, that's our past. This is why it's so confusing, because people don't even realize that the Bible is broken down into past, present, and future time travel. The past, the Old Testament is our past. The New Testament is our present, right here, right now, when Jesus is trying to tell us what we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Revelations is the future, what one will become, where God can see his domain. So he has to help us with the future, because we can only see a little bit into the future. He can see greater. Now, this is what you see when you see the Terminator and the Matrix, because the whole story is when the oracle's prophecy, the machines are advanced. They're microchip clone cyborgs that you saw in the Terminator, naked without shame. Without shame, because they have no soul, so they don't even know they're naked. They have no connections to emotions, love, sympathy, empathy, feeling, compassion. You know what I'm talking about? The laws of God.
Right, yeah.
Morality, morals, and principles. They are killers. So now they hear this prophecy that from the oracle's prophecy, a child is going to be born that's going to destroy them in the future after they have enslaved mankind. So the Terminator now knows who the woman is. They know her name is Sarah Connor. So the Terminator has to time travel. That's why he's coming through the burning blue flames, the portal. He's coming through a portal, and he lands naked without shame. But his target is to kill Sarah Connor because Sarah Connor is going to have Neo. So if he kills the mother before the baby is born, then they would have to worry about him in the future when they enslave mankind. So this is why the Terminator End Time Revelations is the beginning of the epic story and the beginning of the work. And it can go nowhere but into the matrix. And the matrix is a Latin word for the woman's womb. That's why it's called the third eye matrix. The third eye, not because of the penal gland, because that's part of it, because that's part of seeing. That's part of what the oracle is talking about when we see, seers. But it goes deeper. The third eye is another eye, the eye of God, because we have two eyes on earth, but there's a third eye, which is the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-seeing eye of God. And that's why it's called the third eye matrix, the eye of God, and the matrix is the womb of the woman. Now, the war was between the machines and God's children. The machines are artificial intelligence, AI. But God's children are three-dimensional beings with souls. And what did God says? Matrix is the generic word that's mentioned 5 times, a 7,000-year-old word. Google this while I'm speaking, everyone. Mentioned in the King James's Bible 5 times. 3 times in Exodus, 2 times in Numbers. Exodus 34th chapter, 19th verse, God says, he who opens up the matrix or coming out of the woman's portal, her stargate, or his children born with souls. Because for the first 11 weeks in a woman's womb, it is nothing but blood, water, and spirit. Spirit is the astral body. I introduced that to you as the first virtue images that you saw in the Matrix, where their physical bodies were asleep on the ship. Their shadow body or their ghost body that looks just like the physical body was going up and down the telephone line.
Wow.
Yes, you saw this in the Matrix.
Gotcha.
And let me explain to you. So God's children are three-dimensional beings. So the first is blood, water, and spirit. Sometimes this consists of a period for a woman. So she's getting ready to have a baby. If she doesn't get pregnant, then this is where she releases this through her vagina when she's having her menstrual. This is what it's about. The waste has to come out of her body.
Gotcha.
That waste was there to have a baby. So the first 11 weeks, the doctor won't perform an abortion, but he will before the 12th week, because all he's getting rid of is just waste. The astral body cannot be destroyed because it's an astral body. It's a spiritual body. It's waiting to be born, to be housed in a physical body, which will take 36 weeks or 9 months to grow inside of a woman. And this body is formed from the dirt of the earth because this is where the mother eats from. She eats her fruit. She eats her vegetables, things that we grow. The animals that are nourished are from the dirt and the food. This is what the mother eats, and she gives it through the umbilical cord into the womb to feed the baby that grows inside of her for 36 weeks and 9 months. This is the difference between a man and a woman. Not the vagina, not the penis. The difference between a man and a woman is this womb and umbilical cord. And without the umbilical cord, you cannot feed the baby. If the baby stays in to 10 months, the doctor would have to do a C-section because the umbilical cord to feeding will just simply disappear. And then the baby will die because they can't get any food. So even though a doctor or scientist can create a womb, an artificial womb, They cannot create an umbilical cord to feed the baby or to grow what is inside of a man. So a man will never, ever be a woman. I'm sorry. The truth hurts. It's real. It may piss some people off, but if you think I'm joking, Google it and talk to a doctor. The doctor will tell you everything I'm saying is absolutely the truth. I studied to be a lawyer and a doctor when I was going to school. I have a bachelor's, BA, bachelor's of arts in journalism, that's writing, and a double major in law and psychology, studying to be a lawyer and a doctor, but I have a gift. So let me explain to you. The third body is the soul. It's the vibration, the magnetism. Magnetism means like magnet, the South Pole and the North Pole. Vibrancy means the magnetism, meaning energy, vibration, chi. And when it attaches to the physical body, this chi, this vibrancy, it animates the physical body. It brings it to life. So when that little cord is severed, that soul, it goes back to the energy where it comes from. This energy, which is called vibrancy, chi, God, living, you can find it on the ley lines, longitudes, latitudes, the grids that crisscross the earth that are called the longitudes and latitudes. This is what makes us living. And when that
makes so much sense now to me. The whole phone line thing, you know, the phone line, the pulling to the phone line to the reality, back to the astral reality or your astral body. It does make sense to me now, actually, a lot.
Yes, because I'm breaking it down for everyone so they can ask more questions when they go and speak to their doctors, and that people will not be lied to and mutilated for $40,000 and get nothing back in return but a mutilated body. Because what happens is the third body is soul, it's like if you got a watermelon and it has no seeds, it's soulless. So you see what I'm talking about? It's created by man. It's genetically engineered by man, but it has no life in it, because if I eat a watermelon or I eat an apple and it has seeds or a peach and I spit it out, it's going to go back into the earth, and then it's going to grow more peach trees, more apple trees, more watermelons, more tomatoes, more, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is God's children that have seeds.
Yeah,
and
I think
seeds is soulless.
A lot of people in the chat room are, you know, they're like, what does this have to do with the Matrix? So, you know, the movie The Matrix, it's funny when you actually, it's just like a songwriter, right? You think a song is about something until you actually talk to the songwriter, which I've done before, and you realize that's not what they was writing the song about at all, right? You know what I mean? So they're thinking that it's the simulated reality, like it was all about VR and that's it.
No, listen, this has everything to do with the Matrix. And let me take you there, because I wrote The Matrix and Terminator. The Matrix and Terminator is the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, meaning for you to wake up, for you to become unplugged, for you to take the red and the blue pill. The red pill is the blood of the humans. The blue and black ink is the blood of the machines, the artificial intelligence. That's why if you take the red pill, you'll see how deep the rabbit hole goes. And if you take the blue pill, you'll simply go to sleep and ignore all of this. This is the war between God's children and the machines, and being plugged in and unplugged, and being these illusions and virtual reality and illusions that got you plugged in and got you so deceived that you're harvested. That they harvest you every day. Everyone that has the knowledge and truth that I'm teaching right now. It has everything to do with the Matrix and Terminator. It's not just about virtual reality. It's about the illusions in being in real life and being plugged into an illusion. And if you want to stay in the illusion, just like Cypher, and knowing you're not eating a steak and you're eating something else, then fine. If you think what I'm speaking about is not about the Matrix, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to say, wow, I get it now. The light bulb just came on.
Right.
I created the red and the blue pill. If you had read the Third Eye Matrix book, you would know this. If you read the Matrix 4 book, you would know who the real author is. The movies are not teaching you. I created the work that taught the movies. It's called source work. It's when you buy a script or a book or you steal it and adapt it to the screen. When you see the Maze movie, it's the Maze book. When you see the Harry Potter movie, it's the Harry Potter book. When you see the Hobbit in Lord of the Rings, it's the Hobbit book and Lord of the Rings book by J.R. Tolkien. When you see the Pelican Brief in the Fern, it's John Grisham's work. When you see V for Vendetta, it's the English writer Alan Moore's work. When you see Cloud Atlas, it's David Mitchell's work in book. When you see Speed Racer, it's the Japanese writer's work from the 60s. And when you see Jupiter Ascending, that is Andy and Larry Wachowski's work. The Matrix is my work in Terminator, not James Cameron, who can't even write. You don't see any more Avatar because he stole it. Wake up. Unplug from the Matrix. Because if you don't unplug and you buy into the lie, you're going to be harvested just like Cypher.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that will kill and die for the lie. And that's your choice. Just like I said, you don't have to believe anything I'm saying. All I'm asking you is to keep your choices. Don't let anybody fool you or keep you in bondage, keep you from your choice. If you want to do like Cypher and pretend like you're eating steak when you're maybe eating some roaches, that's fine with me. I'm only here to tell you the truth. I'm like Kanye West's song. I'm not here to turn atheists into believers. I'm not here to lead you in a cult or tell you what to do or listen to me. I'm here to preserve your rights.
Well, like I said earlier, anybody that's really done the research on this knows the truth about it. And I can't imagine how frustrated you were when you saw that. You know, sometimes I wonder. But it's all, that's all past.
No, I
stuff.
wasn't frustrated at all. Now, listen, I was not frustrated at all. There was no problem there because I do criminal law. The FBI and the DOJ, the Department of Justice, came in on this case. The ones who have violated me is the government, which is the FBI and the Department of Justice, because they didn't prosecute these people. Just like they didn't prosecute Bernie Madoff when he was stealing millions and billions of dollars from rich people. Those people were filing with the DOJ and the FBI, but Bernie Madoff was paying them off not to put him in jail until a witness came forward and they couldn't do nothing but put him in jail. Come on, you guys. You saw the Untouchables. You saw what Al Capone was paying the police commissioner and senators to stay out of jail. So was Whitey Bulger. His brother was a senator. His best friend was an FBI director. Wake up and smell the coffee. You're looking at coffee now by looking at Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauder and Charlie Rose. This has been covered up for years, what they've done and what they admitted to. Are you kidding me?
Well, it's clear.
There's been police reports and crimes.
It's clear some people either don't want to wake up or they're not paying attention. I'm still getting questions about Snopes. Guys, if you're fact-checking at Snopes, you got a big problem.
You really got a problem if Snopes is teaching you.
That's the worst place to fact-check in the world.
I'm sorry. That is not real media. I'm sorry, but it's not real media, and you need to unplug and come out of it. They're lying to you. They won't put the truth on there. Do you know what happens when the truth comes out? You saw what happened to people when the truth come out. They get fired. Their lives go to hell because of what they've done. When it's all uncovered, There's a lot of stuff that's covered up here. That's why you're so big into the Matrix. The Matrix wasn't created to keep you in bondage. The Matrix was created to unplug you from the Matrix, the lies, the ignorance, and the illusion that's been pulled down over your face, that's been pulled down. You're looking at all of these illusions, and the only way that you can wake up is the truth. If you don't want to believe it, that's fine. Because at some point in time, if you don't die, or maybe before you leave the earth, you will see the truth. Because I've heard that everyone gets to see and experience the truth before they leave the earth. So everything is fine. I'm here to only explain the work to you. You can go out and get the book, and once you read the book, you won't have the argument. If you go on Amazon, you'll see all the 5 stars because these people have read the book. You'll see a few 1 stars. If you go and you read the 1 stars, none of them have read the book. I don't even know how Amazon even let them put up a review when they didn't review a book. They even say it that they never reviewed the book. They just have an opinion like some of you right here from Snopes or doing whatever you think and whatever you want. There's a lot of people fight against the truth. It always happens. Love me or hate me, like Tupac said, you're still going to buy it because you want to know. Curiosity kills the cat. But let me go back and explain the work to you. Let me give you a deeper grip because it's all about the Terminator and the Matrix. It's all about the war between the living souls versus the artificial intelligence that man created in the lab. We're talking about clones, microchip cyborgs, clones that look just like you, where there are 300,000 people probably over in China getting ready to marry their blow-up dolls. But now the blow-up dolls, they're talking and walking.
That's right.
And reacting.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was going to talk to you about. Google and Facebook had AI create its own language, that nobody understood, scared them bad enough they had to shut it off. Elon Musk is going to the United Nations with other people as we speak right now because artificial intelligent autonomous weapons that they're trying to create, and these people are trying to stop it. So, it doesn't take much when you, with the Sophia bot, with what you're talking about, with the autonomous weapons. We all see how technology moves. It doesn't take much to put it all together. And, it's real easy to hide and, put your head in the sand and say, oh, it's nothing. But, it's happening.
Yeah, because what I'm talking about in the Matrix and Terminator is real. It's not just a movie. That's why it affected the whole world. That's why it's got 3 to 4 billion fans around the globe. You know that more people in the foreign countries, we're talking about Egypt, we're talking about Dubai, we're talking about Australia, Germany, Russia. They all in China, the Koreans, Japanese, they all know about this greater than the Americans. The Americans are the last ones to know about anything. But yet you got the Matrix and the Terminator, and I'm trying to tell you that Matrix and Terminator is real. What I wrote is real. There will be these microchip clone cyborgs that you saw when you saw the Terminator. Now, you guys got to know that that's the first time a microchip clone, naked without shame, Terminator ever on the screen. Before that, there was no naked AI on the screen.
Right.
They were still doing H.G. Wells' old metal clankety clank. Go back and look at Star Trek. Go back and look at some of the old ones, the ones with the little boy, Dr. Smith, and the robot rolling around on wheels and flashing lights. You got to remember all of this. It was no husband and wife on the screen in the same bed. There was no toilet on the screen. There was nothing naked. Here it is, 1984. First time people are seeing a microchip clone, naked cyborg, naked without shame, where they tell him to put on some clothes. And he's trying to kill Sarah Connor. And he inadvertently trying to kill Sarah Connor is what caused Neo to be born, because Kyle Reese comes back, time travel to save her, and he falls in love with her and gets her pregnant. Where do you think J.C. John Connor's Neo comes from?
Gotcha.
Go back and look at the 3 Terminator movies and go and look at the 3 Matrix movies. The 3 Terminator movies go into the Matrix movie, and it'll make sense. Because the Terminator movies go nowhere unless it goes into the Matrix. And the Matrix can go nowhere but further into the future and tell you what happens as we get more advanced, but new machines are coming to take the place of the old machines. Now, if you read the Third Eye Matrix and you read Matrix 4, Evolution, Cracking the Genetic Code, then you'll understand everything I'm talking about. I'm preparing you for what's coming. I'm preparing you for alien technology. I'm preparing you that the machines will be so advanced that you can't tell them from the living beings, the soul. The only difference between them is that the living soul will be compassionate, loving, caring. It will care about a dog being killed. It will care about a woman and children freezing on the street. Whereas the machine won't care at all if the dog or the woman or the children die. But you're not going to be able to tell the difference in the future because that's what cloning is all about. You saw the sheep that was cloned. But let me break it down to you even greater. The sheep being cloned is just a sample of the real living thing. If you go into Exodus 34th chapter, 19th verse, you'll read what God says. When you open up the matrix and come through the womb, you receive this love and compassion and soul. Now, cloning is just like this. A scientist sees a horse that's big, but he's weak. And he sees a donkey that's strong, but he's small. But he wants something to be big and strong. And what does he do? He takes the horse and the donkey and he creates a mule. But a mule is born soulless because it can't have a baby. A clone can't have a baby. It cannot duplicate itself. It cannot replicate itself. It is seedless. It has no seed. Now, I bet you thought that a mule came out of another mule, right?
Well, yeah.
You didn't know that man had crossbred that, right? Well, let me take you even further to the mystery of what's going on. That's why I say you guys are stuck in the matrix. If you take a tangelo, a tangerine, or you take a grapefruit and an orange, you make a tangelo. Well, that tangelo can't grow. It is seedless. It has no life. You're eating a modified, genetically engineered food. If you eat a melon and it's seedless, or you eat some seedless grapes, they're created by man. They're not created by God. Everything that God has created on the earth has a seed or a soul to it, meaning it can replicate. It can come back again and again. It follows a circle or a cycle of obedience. You experience this every year with spring. It's spring, then what happens? Then it's summer, then what happens? Then it's fall, where the seeds are falling back into the earth and the leaves are falling off. And then it's winter. And then what's happening in winter? Water. And then when spring comes, here we go. Everything that died in winter, now it's coming back and it's growing and it's green and it's beautiful. Because God is telling you that life is a cycle and that it always began again and again. Not the concept that they try to stick to, the Matrix 2 and 3, that everything that's born, it has no end to it. No. God says there is no end. It's just beginning. That life is always beginning. That there is no end to death because we begin again and again. a complete cycle of obedience, a complete cycle of continuation. That as long as a woman has a matrix, a stargate, a portal, a baby will be born. The moment a baby is born, another baby is or some person, another is dying. Or something is dying and something is being born. But it's a complete cycle. It's timed where it will just continue on and on forever. And that man has nothing to do with this. And that man can never disrupt this cycle because man can never end death and he can never end life. It's ongoing. That only thing that dies are our bodies. And it goes back to the dirt. And the astral body goes back to the void and waits for another body. And the soul goes back to vibrancy and magnetism and waits to be attached again and again. And our bodies are the only thing that is recycled over and over. And man now has the knowledge of God, so he can create whatever kind of bodies he wants in the laboratory. But you need to know this because this is the matrix. It is about the machines versus man. It is about shifting your consciousness and making you aware. It is about you coming out of ignorance into truth. So you can keep your choices. Because if something enslaves you, it takes away your choices. And not even God himself wants the choice to be removed. So let's go into the matrix. Let's go into the Matrix 4, the new matrix that's coming. It's on Amazon. It's at Barnes & Noble, Walmart, on demand, meaning you can order it, you can expedite it and get it in one day. My website, Look Press, or go into Medu's bookstore and get it physically if you're in Atlanta, Georgia. But this is what's coming. In the future, in Matrix 4, the fourth installment that's coming to the screen soon, you're going to see the virtual penal system. What is a virtual penal system? Since you wanted to talk about virtual reality, let's talk about virtual reality. In the future, there will be no more prison system the way you know it because it would be too costly to take care of medical, to feed these men, to have guards and all of that. Time-consuming in a way. In the future, if you can't control your behavior, you will become your own judge, jury, and executioner. This is in Matrix 4. Get the book, the movie coming soon. You'll have virtual penal system. What is a virtual penal system? Well, in the future, they have these databases. The databases are already being formed. And let me tell you, let me wake you up into the Matrix if you don't believe I wrote the Matrix. Facebook and all the social networks are databases. The reason why the CIA paid Mark Zuckerberg,
I can't figure that out. Yeah, it's funny.
Well, what the CIA bought is a database. Or they have all of your pictures, they have all your information, they have all your family, they have where you live, all the information. They paid Mark Zuckerberg and these other people billions of dollars for your information. A database is used to scan. It's where the machines can scan your faces and find you. Because the database, they'll have this database where everything is in there, and when you commit a crime and it's a felony, you lose your rights. Now they can take your DNA and hair samples, swab your mouth, saliva, tattoos, everything, and put it in this database. Now they got you. They'll put a microchip the size of a pinhead in the delicate part of your brain, and they'll release you out in the public. But that microchip is a low jack that they can track you via satellite. So now they don't need you need to go to court. All they have to do now is let you go, 5 of you. One of you could go to Russia, one of you could go to New York, one could go someplace else, Spain. But if you commit a crime, they can actually, the satellites can actually zoom in on you and videotape you committing the crime. And in the future, the drone transporters will be bigger now. Because in the Matrix, I introduced you to digital downloading. When Trinity told Tank to download her so she can fly the helicopters. Yes, I was playing computer games in 1980. It's in the Third Eye book. You will read it. I'm talking about body scanners, food scanners, computerized warfare. I'm talking about the Federal Reserve, the Illuminati, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, the Rothfellas. I'm talking about all of this stuff and how the machines enslave you in the future and all the illusions that are pulled down over your eyes in the virtual reality world that's coming in the future, which is spoken about in Matrix 4. It prepares you just like the Minority Report. It prepares you just like Star Wars and Star Trek. Star Trek is really a great example. Star Trek got you ready for VI satellite big screen. It got you ready for microwave food. It got you ready for cell phones. What do you think when Captain Kirk told them to beam us up, Scotty? That was a cell phone with a transmitter to transmit your DNA up to the ship. But what happened is it just broke your DNA up, and then it reassembled it on the ship. Yeah, how about that?
That's incredible.
Now let me...
Well, can we finish this after the break? We've got to go into a break. We've already run over. But, yeah, we're going to take a break real quick.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. And we'll be right back, guys, with Sophia Stewart. Don't go anywhere.
365 days a year, we're in the field, investigating UFO sightings, talking to alien abductees, and visiting secret military locations like Area 51. We're UFO Seekers, official partner of Spaced Out Radio. Follow our daily search for the truth at ufoseekers.com or like us on social media. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
From coast to coast to coast, Blacklight Uncharted is taking on the paranormal across Canada. From ghostly hauntings to the UFOs flying above in conjunction with MUFON Canada, we're closely investigating what's going on in the northern skies and checking out the apparitions that walk among us. Check out our videos right here at spacedoutradio.com. We want to know your thoughts, we want to hear your experiences, and we want you to share your stories. The answers are out there, and we intend to find them.
Would you like to become one of our space travelers? All you have to do is click on the Space Travelers icon at spacedoutradio.com. For only $5 a month, you can get access to some great prizes, as well as private monthly shows, newsletters, and a members-only section on our website. Become a space traveler today.
It's paranormal news at its finest. Welcome to The Encounter. At spacedoutradio.com, The Encounter online is SOR's trusted news source for everything weird and strange going on around the world. This is news editor Eric Markham. Our team of journalists are scouring the planet for those strange stories that rarely make the mainstream. No fear-mongering or fake news here. Head over to spacedoutradio.com and encounter The Encounter.
Want to learn more about aliens, cover-ups, conspiracies, cryptids, and the paranormal? All you have to do is tune in S4 as we take over the Spaced Out Radio night, starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, each and every Saturday night, right after Spaced Out Saturdays. Hi there, this is Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. Join me, Corey Ruiz, and friends as we discuss the hot topics of the night. It's fun, entertaining, and as dark as the night. Find us at spacedoutradio.com.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
There's a lot of strange going on in this world, and we can help you find out what's going on with you. Paranormal, cryptids, UFOs in the sky, aliens in your bedroom tickling your toes. We have the investigators you need to find out the answers you deserve. All you have to do is head to spacedoutradio.com. Your information is 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines Report. It's free, and we're here to help.
Are you an experiencer? Have you had run-ins with strange creatures you can't explain? ETs, Dogman, Bigfoot, werewolves? They're enough to scare the daylights out of anyone. Hi there, I'm Butch Witkowski from your 4-Cop. And on the last Monday of every month, you can listen to me and the host, Dave Scott, talk about the weird and the strange being reported on Spaced Out Radio. I'm going to bring my investigations and sources, you bring your experiences, and we'll figure out the rest together. Strange Days on Spaced Out Radio. Come tune us in at spacedoutradio.com.
Do you want to know what's really going on in your world? Do you have questions about who you can trust in the mainstream media? Then look no further than the Rebel Planet. Come get the straight answers right here at spacedoutradio.com. Join me, Jamie Sexton, creator of Rebel Planet News, as I fill you in on the stories behind the stories. All you truth seekers, be sure to tune in to Rebel Planet on spacedoutradio.com the third Thursday of every month.
Psychic Sundays, spiritual communication, ET contact, Sasquatch in your backyard. We will have it all on Cosmic Passport with me, Elizabeth Anglin. Each Sunday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, at spacedoutradio.com, I will take you on a journey of enlightenment. The goal is learning from the soul on out. We'd love it if you joined our experience. Cosmic Passport, heard Sundays at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you interested in advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Head to our website at spacedoutradio.com and click on our advertising tab. There, you will find an assortment of ways you can get your product out there with us, from radio commercials to banners and social media. Have a product you like our hosts to endorse? We can do that too. Visit spacedoutradio.com for more details.
Don't have time to listen to Spaced Out Radio Live? Wherever you are, the car, the office, the shower, or even if you're traveling, we're right here for you. Each Spaced Out Radio show can be found on iTunes, TuneIn, and on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the perfect way for you to catch up on our shows. For more information, just head over to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and tune in to us today.
Looking for nighttime adventure? Old school radio that delves into everything out of the norm? Then check us out at Spaced Out Radio. This is Dave Scott. Every Monday through Friday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, we're going to take you on a wild ride ranging from conspiracies to true crime and every ghost, alien, and Sasquatch story in between. We're always live, and we're always interactive with you. So join us at spacedoutradio.com, where together, we own the night.
The opinions expressed by tonight's guest do not represent the opinions or position of Spaced Out Radio, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with SOR Media. Listener discretion is advised. This is Spaced Out Saturdays with host Joe Roop. You can follow Joe on Twitter at Lighting the Void. And if you want to call into tonight's show, dial 501-777-5631. Our website is spacedoutradio.com. Now, from the deep south of Arkansas, here is Spaced Out Saturday host Joe Roop.
Welcome back to Spaced Out Saturday Night. I'm your host, Joe Roop. Hey, guys, don't forget that we're doing a GoFundMe at gofundme.com/We Own the Night. So you can help Spaced Out Radio get some better equipment so they can enhance their sound and move more into the realms of terrestrial. They got our claws in terrestrial a little bit. Now we want to spread it across the country even more and across the world even more. We appreciate your support. We're already 1/5 of the way there, so you keep that up. Now, tomorrow night, Elizabeth Anglin's going to be on Cosmic Passport. And after the show tonight, don't forget to check out S4. Now, we are speaking with the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart, and she has been with us and has been enlightening us and on a lot of things about the story. The last question that I asked her was, what inspired you to write this story? Now, I know that some of you think that automatically that it was all about a simulated computer reality. But in fact, there was way more behind this story. And we're still going down the rabbit hole. And I think this is great. And I appreciate you coming back on with us, Sophia. It's really cool. But, you know, there's some people, there's these skeptics out there. They're still stuck on the 2005 case. They're still, you know, they haven't even looked at your material or checked the book. If you see the graphic novel, the book and stuff, the details are all there. It's just amazing to me. And now I think that goes back to, like you were saying, the whole red pill and blue pill thing.
Yeah, because you guys listen, I can't go out there and put Apple and create an Apple phone, iPhone. The FBI will come in and arrest me for bootlegging and counterfeiting. And if you look at, go on Amazon, Google it right now, it's talking about Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus. They're on the cover, the Terminator. Come on, you guys, wake up. I'm not here to try to get you to do anything. All I just want you to do is look for the truth. If you hate me, I haven't done anything but deliver the truth. I'm sorry these people stole from me. They will steal from you because that's how evil works. If you don't do anything about evil, it'll come from you. It comes for you, and then you won't have any help. But the deal is this: it's not about black and white. It's about good and evil, and that's what the Matrix and Terminator is telling you about. That the artificial intelligence, the simulations, the illusions that are pulled down right now got you in the Matrix. That's what the whole assimilation is about. That you're in a virtual world of your own and you're dreaming and you need to wake up. It's like The Walking Dead. So that's all I'm trying to do is inform you. You don't got to believe me. You can find out the truth on your own because that's how it's supposed to be done. You're supposed to dig so that way nobody can lie to you. For anybody who is still believing that old stuff and the old news on the internet that they won't remove because it'll reveal that they're thieves, go to my website right now, truthaboutmatrix.com. It's www.truthaboutmatrix.com. Look under the legal documents. Get the court case, and on Monday, call the courts up, and they'll tell you it's a real case. 35 spectators were there, 4 to 5 FBI agents, marshals with guns on. 4 media outlets covered it, 3 court clerks, 1 court reporter, 3 CPAs to tally up the damages they owed me, $4.7 billion, and I won over like $500,000 in attorney fees, and I can show you the judgment. I can show you the liens, $3.5 billion in liens. And because they owe me the money, you can't put liens on anybody. That's why the IRS put liens on you when you owe them money. They take everything from you. They lien it up. And when you pull up to see who owns it, you see the liens. That tells you the ownership. If you pay the liens off, you can get your property back. You guys are familiar with liens because the IRS have liened up a lot of your stuff out there. They've liened up your bank accounts, your homes, your cars. You know, when you can't pay a bill, they put a lien on your car and sell it, and put it in the court doc for the courts, public records. So I'm not here to upset anybody. I'm just simply here to speak the truth and for you to get at the truth yourself. But it's your choice. Again, the red and the blue pills are your choice. I'm going to go back and start speaking for those out there who want to hear about the new alien technology coming. Like I told you, the virtual penal system where they have these laser rings around you. They may be white, they may be gold, and one around each arm. If you snatch your purse, the ring will activate. It'll cut your hand off. It'll stop you from bleeding. Ooh. You try to run from Homeland Security, it'll activate the ring. It'll cut your leg or feet off. If you kill somebody, it's capital punishment. It'll activate the ring. It'll cut your head off because you become your own judge. You become your own jury, and you become your own executioner if you can't behave yourself, because now we don't have any more courts. We don't have any of that. We don't have time for that. The new jobs for the probation officers and the parole officers and all of this is VI satellite now. They're going to be monitoring you on big screens, even from their homes. You're not going to have any more paper passports. You won't need them anymore because of the databases that are owned by the government. Now they'll have a scanner when you go into the airport. They'll do a retinal scan. They'll do a facial scan. They'll do even where your teeth and everything. And they'll know that it's you. That way, no one can get through this system. You don't need the paper anymore, paper passports. This is going to be put in place. Now they're going to have drone transport is going to be bigger. Drone means unmanned. That's all a drone means, that the car has nobody driving it, no living soul. The spaceship or the airplane has so the drones are going to be bigger in the future.
Do you think that Elon Musk and the other people that are trying to stop the artificial autonomous drone weapons or any artificial intelligent weapons, that here's my biggest point with this and always has, that it does not have human intervention to stop it from pulling a trigger. It just has a program, basically. Elon Musk and several humanitarian groups are trying to stop this because they know that it's happening. The contracts are on their way for this stuff. I mean, do you think it's inevitable? I mean, is it just going to happen no matter what we do?
Well, we convert it. This is what the Matrix and the Terminator movie is all about, that the machines are only good as its creators, the artificial intelligence. So if the scientist was an idiot, the artificial intelligence is going to be an idiot. And if the scientist was smart or whatever, wicked or whatever, that is what its creation is going to be, because man is like Dr. Frankenstein. And what did Dr. Frankenstein create? He created the monster. And the monster was no greater than him. The monster is not greater than the master. The cart doesn't come before the horse. In other words, the book is not wicked because we wrote the book. So if you were wicked in what you wrote, then the book, the material is wicked. But it's no greater than the master or the creator. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
So artificial intelligence, there are always people who are smarter than the innate objects or innate things that they create. So we're greater. So we have nothing to fear because we're greater than our creation.
You know what's fascinating to me, though?
What they're trying to do is scare you. Go ahead.
About this is, even through all the controversy with the Wachowski brothers, the movies and everything, the Oracle is you. How did that stay in that story the whole time? How did that manage to stay there?
Because I created all the characters that you see in the Matrix and the Terminator. And when I was writing my work, I put myself in my work as the Oracle, because the reason why I watched Alfred Hitchcock, I used to watch him, so did Stephen King, so did Spike Lee. That's why they put themselves in their work. We got it from Alfred Hitchcock. He put himself in his work.
Right.
So that's why I put myself in my work, because I am the Oracle. I am a visionary seer. And I am talking about alien technology. And if you read the books, you'll see that it's true. But when you're listening to me, you can hear it come out of my mouth, because a lot of the stuff I'm talking about, it doesn't even exist on the earth yet. When I'm telling you about this, when you guys hear about it, you're going to say, oh, my God, we heard it, Sophia Stewart talking about it. When they tell you there will be no more paper passports, that in all the airports and places they will have these scanners, these drones that will scan you, and they have everything on record for your passport. It'll be virtual, a virtual passport. And they'll have a universal card called your driving license, but it's a universal card. It will have all your information. It will have your banking information. It will have your DNA information. It will have your business information. It will have everything. That's why it's called a universal card. But it's a swipe card, and it's chips. Because chips are going to be in everything. So these microchips.
Yeah, 3M has already implemented them. Yeah, the company implemented them in 50 employees so they could turn on scanners and open doors and all kinds of stuff. Not only that, told them it was voluntary, but, they got T-shirts and a party. And I'm not just saying that. They really threw a party about it.
Yeah, they have chips on people. So now when they go into their jobs, they don't need any keys.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just go and explain this to them so they can see it and read it in Matrix 4 book, because they need to know what's coming. The Matrix and Terminator is just waking you up out of the virtual world you're living in. And it's bringing you into the real world. It's unplugging you out of the virtual world that you're so crazy about and bringing it, because the virtual world means you're seeing illusions. When you put on the visor and you're looking, it's illusion. But if you come out of there, it's reality, and that's what you need to deal with. And this is what I'm talking about. With the virtual driving license now, I tell you, like, if they'll have motion sensors on the highways and the streets, motion sensors. A motion sensor detects motion. So if your car is going erratically, they're going to send a drone transporter out to scan you first before they send a living cop over to your car. What happens is the drone will come in and it'll scan your body. It'll scan your temperature. It'll see if you're texting. It'll see if you're on the phone. It'll see if you're having sex. It'll see if you just had a seizure or a heart attack. It'll see if alcohol is in your body and what level of degree alcohol is in your body. It will determine everything. It will report back to the police department, and they will either give you a ticket or they'll arrest you. And the cop will come and he'll take your license, he'll swipe it, and he has a little computer mounted on the cop cars, and the little receipt will drop in the box, just like you go into the casino and you get a ticket out and you cash your ticket out and get your money. Now they'll have this little receipt that'll pop out, and your account just been debited. Yeah, Bitcoins, digital coins, but you know what I'm saying, cryptocurrency. That's right. Your bank account just got debited, and there is no court. You didn't have to see a judge. You paid your ticket, so now goodbye, bye-bye. In the virtual penal system, like I told you, it's virtual. Now, I just told you, it's a laser around you. You can walk around in the mall. When the people see the laser rings around, you can talk to people. They can talk back to you. But if you interact or you do something harmful, it's going to activate the rings. But it's going to be a virtual penal system that affects you. When you go home, it will rescind. When someone comes to visit you, it'll come back on you. If you step outside, the rings will come back on you because you're in jail. A virtual penal system. I'm talking about a wireless engine that Morpheus and Neo is riding in. It's called a Matrix Sync car that starts up with a vibration, with a musical vibration, a musical note. That's right, wireless. It has no wires. It has no freon. It has no liquid. It moves by vibration. Now you're talking about Tesla's electrical car. Before that, gasoline cars. Before that, Henry Ford steam engine ran by water. Yeah, that's right. The first cars and boats ran by water. Then the gasoline, now electrical. But I went on to a wireless engine that starts up with a musical note vibration. If you want to see it, go right now, Google the Kia commercial with Morpheus. The 2014 Super Bowl Kia, K-I-A, Kia commercial, where the cars are flying up the reversal of gravity, and Morpheus is in the first wireless engine car. Take a look at it. It got 5 million hits immediately. Where do you think they got it from? Out of Matrix 4 book. You think I'm joking? I can send you the letter from the Kia's lawyers admitting it that they got it right out of the Matrix 4 book. For all you disbelievers, and I love disbelievers because I like to show you. I like to take you there, like the staple singers. I like to take you there and show you. Then once you see it with your own eyes, guess what? Where are you going to go then? After you take a look at the truth, where are you going to go? But anybody who's interested, look at it and get the book if you think it's not there. It's right there, and I'll send you the letters. Whatever you need, all you disbelievers that are plugged in and need to be unplugged, well, let me unplug you with the truth. Let the oracle unplug you with the truth so you can make decisions for yourself. And if you want to do like Cypher and believe you're eating a steak when you're eating mush, then welcome. Because I'm not here to take your choices from you. I'm just here to inform you and get you prepared for the virtual world that's coming, where you can see a virtual skateboard. It's in the Matrix 4 book. That's right, the indigo kids that you saw with the oracle, the little kids or
Right,
the
I remember
indigo
that.
kids, the older kids or the crystals, where you saw the little boy bending the spoon. It was never explained to you. Those are indigo kids. If you remember, they're looking for Neo to kill him. And Neo was a baby at one time, and they were killing all the male children that was exhibiting all these unusual gifts. And that's where you see it in Marvel, what Marvel was talking about, when you see all the gifted Marvel heroes and everything. Well, these are the children or some of these children are the Elohim children, the third of the angels that fell to the earth that was androgynous. And when you read in the Bible, it was talking about all these mythology children and the giants and Pegasus with wings, a horse with wings, a unicorn, a horse with a horn in his head, a miniature, half bull and half man. All of these creatures, the little fairies, the little trolls, I can go on and on and on, Apollo. But, the mythology and Marvel comics, Marvel heroes, and all of these Justice League and X-Men. That's where these children come from. They have all these gifts because if you go into the Bible and you read in Genesis is an anagram for two words. Because Genesis is nothing by itself. Genesis. What's Genesis? Oh, yes, it's an anagram. Let's flip it around and let's see what the illusion is hiding. Let's unplug you out of the matrix. Genesis is really two words, is genes. ISGENES. Genesis, which is genes, is talking about two birthings. How God's children came upon the earth and they had already plenished the earth and they were beautiful, born with souls, and how the angels, a third of them, got jealous when they saw God's children. They said, let us create our own children, mankind or a kind of man, but not a living soul because they couldn't create the soul. And they had no sexual organs because they were androgynous. They had no sex organ. They had the knowledge of God. They were supernatural, powerful, and they started creating their own children. You saw the movies, Dr. Moreau Island.
Yes.
And then all of these, yeah.
Also, what you're talking about is in a lot of Gnostic books, too. The androgynous beings
yes.
and stuff. So, yeah.
This is where all this comes from because they wanted to create their children, and this is what the mythology was saying. We're calling mythology. When you read about Hercules and Apollo, you know what I'm saying? When you read about Cyclops and stuff. When you look at the X-Men, remember the one that has that, when he pulls off his glasses and he can burn things up?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the same thing almost as Cyclops, but it just shows the power that he had. And the little boy bending the spoon, and the Matrix 4 even show where the kids are doing even greater things. You know what I'm saying? But this is where it all comes from, because if you go into the Bible and you read the first story, they're looking for the one. They're looking for the Christ child. And what are they doing? They're killing all these male children. And if you go into the Terminator End Time Revelation, you see in the second Terminator, he looks like a girl, J.C. John Connor's Neo. He looks like a girl because I have him as a girl on paper when you read the book, because they're looking for all these male children, and they're trying to kill all these male children looking for him because he's the one that's going to destroy them. That is why he's called the one, Neo, an anagram. And he hasn't awakened consciously, so he's scared, he's frightened. But he's protected. And then when you see the third Terminator, he's a man child, and he's on his way to the city. And he's hidden out there until he reaches the age of 30 years old. When Neo reaches 30 years old, it's in the book, The Rebellion Reloaded starts. And the Revolution is in the third movie, where he has to fight the machine. Now, Reloaded is where the rebels come in because he's hitting out. He's 30 years old. It's time for him to do what he was created for. They come and they awaken him to his purpose. They take him to the oracle. They take him to Morpheus. Morpheus prepared him to fight. They teach him the way. He goes through the pods. His human side dies. That's right. His spiritual side is born. He ascends into his light body.
That's when he stops the bullets, right?
Superman.
When he goes into that dude and he says no, right? When they shoot at him and he just says no and just stops everything.
That's right, because he's able to touch the mirror and go into other dimensions. He's able to stop the bullets. He's flying, but he's not Superman. His body being matter can jump into Agent Smith's body, which is a machine, which is antimatter. Matter going into antimatter blows it up. Antimatter means it's against the physical. And that's why when he jumped into Agent Smith's body, he blew him up.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense now. That's so cool.
Yes. And I made 2 and 3 a dream, a lucid dream, convoluted, because Neo and Trinity can't die. Look at her name, Trinity. What does that mean? 3D, three-dimensional. Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit, truth.
Right.
And let's Morpheus, dream, God of dreams. So what did they do? They never died. In the 4th installment, I showed a little bit in succession where they looked like they were dying. He was on the cross and the gold. You saw the binary codes coming through his eyes and the gold beams coming out of his eyes, binary codes. And he looked like he's hung on the cross. But he's not died. He's not dead, because a dream within a dream, a wheel within a wheel, would be equal. Are we asleep or are we dreaming right now?
Well, some people are asleep because there's comments in the chat room. This lady apparently knows the role of every superhero and movie icon ever created within the Matrix. I guess you missed the first part of the show. But you know what? Here's the thing. We're not all perfect. We all sleep sometimes. We all sleepwalk. It is sometimes. And honestly, I got to say, Sophia, the more I focus on staying awake, a lot of times it can get pretty miserable sometimes, because the truth isn't fun most of the time. Like today, for instance, Tom DeLonge is saying that, he showed a video that's supposed to be the first time we've ever had disclosure about UFOs, whether it's alien or government craft. We don't really know. I think it's government craft, but the level of disinfo here, I don't think we really know about either. I really don't think we know how deep the government's willing to go with disinfo.
The rabbit hole. That's right. We don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. It's true what you're saying. We're all humans at some point, and we all fall short. We all fall short and we err. But at least some people will try to wake up, and some refuses to. But it's fine, because I'm not here to take your choices. They can say everything they want in the chat room. They don't have to accept any of this. They don't even have to read the book if they don't want to. But others will read the book, because there's 7 billion people on Earth.
Right.
I don't know if they're aware of that, but it's 7 billion people. And it's only a fraction of the people got the truth right now. Just a fraction is awakened. A majority of the people are asleep because they're consumers. A consumer is just hooked in to consuming. They don't want to awaken. They like what they're doing. They're enjoying it. And that's fine. Then there's others that are simply tied into entertainment. They're just there for entertainment. But then there's other ones that are hungering for the truth, and they're going out there and they're seeking for it. So it doesn't matter, because even God says that his sheep would hear his voice and they would listen, and those who didn't listen, they were not his sheep. So it doesn't matter. All those who are seeking truth is going to hear the truth, and those who want to go to sleep, stay asleep, because at least you're exercising your choice. And that was the whole point of the Matrix, the red and the blue pill, is for you to either seek out the truth or you go on with what you're doing. But it's real. The Matrix and Terminator is real. It is not safe. And the more you listen, and later on, there's over 1,000 of my interviews on YouTube where people are listening around the world. So it doesn't matter who wakes up when and how, and if you never wake up, it's fine. 7 billion people are on the earth.
I get
So
whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Yeah.
That's right. Every day somebody is going to wake up. Ain't no one monkey going to stop any show.
Right.
And the truth is like this. Word of mouth is the greatest medium. Not the TV, not the radio, not the magazine, which the real machines are the banks and the corporations that have gotten you enslaved. If you looked at the movie They, you would understand that. You'd understand what the billboards were saying. They're putting you to sleep. You'd understand what a magazine, a newspaper, a television, a program, and that you live in a virtual world. That's the virtual world because these programs have created an illusionary world for you, and either you like it or some of you don't like it. It's just like this. If you get kidnapped and somebody took you to Disney World and they kidnapped you, and that's all you got to do for day in and day out, for year in and year out, after a while, some of you would wake up and say, you know what, I'm sick of this. I don't want any more cotton candy. I don't want to ride on the roller coaster. I've done this a million times. I've eaten cotton candy, and now I'm awake. I want something else. Then the others would say, oh, this is fun. Let's keep doing it. Let's keep eating it. And that's okay, because that's where you're at right now.
Pretty interesting question in the chat, Sophia. Catalina in the chat room wants to know, have you yourself ever witnessed a UFO or had a, well, let's just say had a paranormal experience?
Well, that's a great question, and I was going to go to that next, and so maybe I was reading you, because I wanted to tell you Homeland Security and the FBI have autographed copies of my books. And when Homeland Security read my book, and this, I'm going to give it to all of the unbelievers out there. It will be my pleasure to give it to you. But anyway, they called me up, and they said that I solved the Roswell incident. Well, the Roswell is about these alien ships that they had captured back in 1947 in the 50s. Some ships they created before I was even born. They said that I had solved the Roswell incident. And I asked them, what do you mean that I solved the Roswell incident? Well, they said when we read Matrix 4 book, we did not know how the alien ships flew, but you got an alien ship in your book. And the alien ship in my book is called the Duo. And the alien ship in the first Matrix, the Third Eye Matrix, is called Nebuchadnezzar. That's in the Third Eye Matrix book, but I'll tell you about that in another second here when I finish this one. Anyway, this is a true story. I asked them, what do you mean, how did I solve the Roswell incident? They said they didn't know how the ship flew because the aliens died, and they knew the ship didn't fly with rocket fuel like our ship, or gasoline, fossil fuel, or any of that. So in my book, I'm saying that the alien ship flies with magnetic ring pulsion and the reversal of gravity. But I didn't know it was an alien ship. Me being a writer, I thought I created that ship. I invented that ship. I'm the creator of it. In the Matrix 4 book, I'm telling you how it cloaks invisible, where the machines cannot detect it. I'm talking about how it hovers like a helicopter, but it breaks the time barrier speed. I'm talking about how it goes into portals and comes out in two places at the same time where it's seen. And this is mind-boggling because I'm breaking down the technology, and it blew their minds. Now, they send me information from the Pentagon. That's right, classified information. It's no longer classified, but it's the real thing. From 1955, Pentagon. And in it is a ship, the very ship that I created in Matrix 4 books, and I'm explaining how it flies. And I'm talking about the hieroglyphics on the belly of the ship. And these ships is what they captured.
Well, earlier someone said, what does the Matrix have to do with the Bible? I think Nebuchadnezzar is kind of a giveaway, if you ask me, but I could be wrong.
Well, Nebuchadnezzar is in the Bible. He was a king.
Right.
And Daniel's is the book of Revelations also, besides the end-time revelations of the Bible. And when the guy tells Neo, you're my personal savior, and Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, and all these symbolism that's referencing the Bible. And the reason why you don't know about any of these symbolism or symbols because you never read the Bible. And the people who stole it never read the Bible because they didn't even know what the matrix was until I explained them that the word matrix is a Latin word for the woman's womb, and that it was a 7,000-year-old word that came out of the King James Bible. And if you go right there and Google it while I'm talking, Exodus 34th chapter, 19th verse, God says, he who opens up the matrix and coming out of the woman's womb is his children, born with souls, including the animals. If you don't believe me, Google it. Now, ask yourself what it has to do with the Bible, because the people who stole didn't tell you that part because they didn't know themselves. They had to ask me. If you were Picasso right now, and you were painting Picassos, and then somebody stole one of your Picassos and put his name on it, what does it matter to Picasso? Your ass can't paint another Picasso picture, painting. You can't paint one. So when you steal something, you can't carry on the creativity of someone else. That's why 2 and 3 had to be a dream, because it went crazy. It had nothing to do with Matrix 1. So I had to make it a dream. And the fans loved it because they hated it. And who killed out the Matrix, kill out Neo and Trinity? Who kills Neo and Trinity? If something is not broke, why fix it? If it's making billions of dollars, why are you changing it? Why are you killing it? You ask yourself these questions, because I never heard these questions before. Why is 2 and 3 different from 1? Why is it going in another direction? How come it is not continued? Because why is the Wachowskis doing V for Vendetta, Alan Moore's work? Why are they doing David Mitchell's work, Cloud Atlas, his book? Why are they doing Speed Racer, the Japanese guy, and Bound, some other writer's work?
Very good questions. Very, very interesting questions.
And ask yourself, if James Cameron created the Terminator, then why did somebody do 4 and all it has is Nazi material in it? The burnt-out old buildings of Berlin in France, the old Hitler motorcycles and helmets, the train stations with the mines of the resistance when they had the resistance back in 1938 in the 40s. Hitler's, Nazism. And why is Genesis a bomb that got nothing to do with the Terminator at all? And why is Schwarzenegger, a Nazi, trying to come out with grumpy old Terminator when I told him I would follow Rico on him? A 71-year-old man fighting a 61-year-old woman, Linda Hamilton, grumpy old Terminator? I don't think that's what you want to see. I think you want to see Terminator 5, Rebirth of the Machines, and where the machines originated, what planet they come from, Orion, and how they were created, and how did they come in conflict with man. I think that would be more interesting. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, I do think so.
Because that's the real Terminator. More Terminator.
Dale Elson, I don't have all night to rebut your case. If you want to ask Sophia a question, you're more than welcome to call in. If you've got any questions that will help out the show, call in. It's 501-777-5631.
Yes, let them call in and ask me directly.
They're still hung up on the 2005 thing.
Oh, my God. That's the past. 2014 is the future. If you want to know the truth about something, you don't go to the past. If you want to know the truth about something, you have to go to the future. You have to go to the present, right here, right now. You can't go backwards because that's dead. It's gone. You can't bring it back. You can't do nothing with it. It's a dead issue. When something else is dead, something new takes its place. You don't go back and go to an old T-model Ford. That's like you keep talking about the T-model Ford when we got the Tesla's electrical car. It doesn't make no sense. Do you see how you're stuck in the matrix? You need to come unplugged. Why are you talking about the past?
Kurt Green wants to know in the chat room, Sophia, what, in your opinion, with all the abduction stories that we have and the aliens and everything, do you think, and it's a very simple question, but I'm curious myself to know what you think. Do you think that aliens are good or bad? That was his question. Are they good or bad?
Well,
they have our best interest in.
Let's put it like this. If the aliens were bad, do you think you'd be here now?
Good point. So there you go, Kurt.
I mean, come on. If the aliens were bad, you can answer the question yourself. It's common sense.
Now, I spoke to Richard Allen Miller about aliens, and I'm not sure if I heard you say this on, as well as on the, on another show, but you were talking about how, man, I don't know if this was you or not, and I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh, how aliens might be AI technology, like AI, artificial intelligence already.
Exactly. I didn't say it, but I have talked about artificial intelligence. I have also talked about what we call, because alien means simply unknown. That's all alien. The word alien means unknown. Everybody out there, alien means not of. We don't know what it is. It's just like right now you find something. Say, for instance, we found a gun, but we didn't know what a gun was. That would be an alien. That would be an alien object to us if we didn't know what it was. So we wouldn't know if it was good or bad. But if we picked it up and we started messing with it, yes. Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, Dale's here with us, and he has a question for you, Sophia.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fine. I'm trying to follow the history of this coming up to the future, and so I saw the 2005 stuff where the court ruled against you, signed you damages, and then I found the 2014 stuff where you successfully countersued the lawyer for negligence and.
Well, would you listen for a moment, Dale? I'm going to send you over the transcript so you can see that the lawsuit started out with the 4 attorneys that Warner Brothers sent to sabotage the 2005 California case. But later on, they all joined in because they didn't get the money over in California. Listen to me carefully. They didn't get that $305,000, almost $500,000. They didn't get it. I'm going to send you over the California transcript to show you that they had terminated out of the case before the judge made a ruling. They were so scared of the RICO case. A RICO case is a criminal case that's going to put you in jail because you stole copyrighted work. My copyright
racketeering, yep.
And 84. Now listen carefully. I'm going to show you in both transcripts that when the judge made a ruling, she dismissed the case. That's all. They didn't win anything. I didn't lose anything. It's just like this. Right now, if Joseph, wait a minute, hold up. If Joseph accused you of something, and you went to court, if Joseph doesn't put in any evidence, they have to dismiss the case against you, Dale. That's all that took place. The attorneys were sent to keep the evidence out, but I got to put the evidence in the second court case. So you see, I got to put in the copyrights, the ownership. And then the government gave me the copyrights to all the derivative movies you saw and stuff that they created. If that's mine. Do you see what I'm saying? And they entered into the court. They asked the judge for a default judgment, and they asked for the money. Now, you can't get into a court and ask for something unless you've entered into the court. You can't ask the judge, Dale, for a default judgment for money unless you enter into the court. So I'm going to send you, listen very carefully. And this is for everybody. And you can give it to anybody you want, Dale, because it's public information. I'm going to give you the Utah court's showing you where they asked for the money in a default judgment. I'm going to give you the California court case where they terminated out before the judge ruling came in. The judge ruling came in June the 14th, 2003. They had terminated out before that date, 2005, excuse me. They terminated out in 2003. She ruled in 2005. And she just dismissed the case. That was it. Now, what's your question?
So, do you have currently any actions ongoing against the studio?
I've already won everything. I own the copyrights and everything. The only thing I've done now is told them if they come out, Schwarzenegger them, if they come out with a grumpy old Terminator, I'm going to file a RICO to put them in jail. Because you can't...
You haven't...
Because what they're trying to... Listen to me. Listen carefully. When a RICO case means a criminal case, means I'm going to file on them a criminal case because they can't use my characters anymore. They can't use my concept anymore. But what they want to do is give you a generic and cheat you out of your money like they did with Ford and Genesis. They want to just harvest your money, but they're not going to give you the real Terminator. And I told Zach Penn that because Zach Penn made an announcement. He didn't want Keanu Reeves and Morpheus and, Lawrence Fishburne and Carrie Ann Moss when they came and made an announcement they're ready to come back. He said he was going to give you guys Michael B. Jordan, and he's going to give you a Matrix story, a generic. A generic means like cola, sweetie. You can't get Pepsi Cola or Coca-Cola. That's a formula. But somebody can give you a cola. It won't be Shasta, it won't be RC, but you can make up your own cola. But you're not going to, you can make people believe that you're going to give them Coca-Cola, but you're not, because Coke is going to sue you if you try to use any of its formula or anything. And then you're doing consumer fraud if you make people think they're going to get a Gucci and they're going to get a Gucci Rena. If you make people think they're going to get an apple and you give them an Apple Jack. Do you get it now? They can't give you the real Matrix. And I threatened them with a criminal case against them if they defraud the public, the consumer, with a fake product. Because the fans were pissed off. They said, we don't want Matrix with Michael B. Jordan. We want Matrix with Keanu Reeves, Neo. We want Neo and Trinity and Morpheus. That's the real Matrix. You want to give the fans the real Matrix. You know, a creator, an owner, does an Apple with Steve Jobs and then and Bill Gates. They don't want you to get something less than the real.
Well,
product.
another point too, I think here is to make is if you've got the Third Eye Matrix, have you read it? Have you looked at the graphic novel? Have you seen the details about not just the characters and the main concept and the esoteric truths behind it or whatever, the details in the story that were clearly ripped off? Have you seen that? Because if you haven't, it's kind of hard to even argue with you about it.
No, I just, she's talking victory, but I haven't seen that you've won a penny from the studio.
Well, that's because you haven't seen the judgment money. I got money from them. You have to collect the money. Listen to me.
Okay, I read down through your website, and I
hold on. Let her talk.
Let her
talk, and then you can talk back.
She's been lecturing and yelling for.
Hold on a second. I got you muted now because you're not. You got to let her talk so you can answer back. That's how that works. Even if you don't like that she's yelling, you still got to let her finish.
Dale, listen to me. All of the documents are not on my website. I sent them out personally to people. I can show you the money that I won. And listen, every lawsuit, everybody has ever won any money, Dale. If you ever won any money, the money has to be collected, sweetie. They don't hand the money to you. You have to put up a collection agencies and companies to get the money for you. So just because you don't see it and you don't hear it doesn't mean I didn't get it. It doesn't go into the media, but it's because they're the ones hiding it in the media. You won't support them if you find out the truth that they stole. Because you know why? Because they're going to steal from you.
Yeah, and Donna in the chat room makes a good point. Money doesn't mean that you're, just because you got a pile of money doesn't mean you got a victory either. It's not really about that. Not
exactly.
always.
What I'm trying to get him to that money is is the afterthought. The victory is that I won, that I was able to put in the copyrights of ownership, and that they cannot do it anymore. Dale, why haven't you seen the Matrix movie in 14 years? The last Matrix movie was 2003.
Because they finished the story.
Reason why they put in, wait a minute, Dale, the reason why they put in Genesis, because I hadn't entered the evidence into the courts until the September the 25th, 2014. All of it was entered in. That's why you didn't see any more Terminators. But now they came into the news because they're desperate. Hollywood is broke. Hollywood is broke. They're losing money.
I think you've made your point, though, Dale. I think you've made your point. You're looking for the technical stuff. You're looking for the big money and all of that. But the fact is that her point is no one's saying that it's not hers. She made the new book, The Matrix. Obviously, if it wasn't her copyright and it wasn't her artistic copyright, I would think they could do something about that. But they're not, because they can't. So both of you got valid points. But here's my point. I'm more interested in the truth behind the story, and I'm going to move on from that, okay? Thanks for your call, Dale. I appreciate it. I'm glad and very happy, and I respect you for calling in when I asked you to do that. That's awesome.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay.
But yeah, anybody else want to take me? We got a question, because I'm happy to click and see. All of this would have been reported in the news. And, you know, all of these people, instead of being mad at me, why aren't you mad at the news people for not telling you the truth?
Yeah, that is a good question. Why are they so angry at you?
What happened now?
I mean, why you deal with this a lot? That, you know,
yeah,
people don't understand that.
And they're mad at me. Now listen, they're mad at me because the news people are not telling them. Look, the news have that's what they were created, to tell the people the truth. And they put the people in the matrix. And I guess that's what Donald Trump was saying is fake news. Because if you go on the internet is not the news, people. That's where anybody can put blogs and smears and ignorance and whatever they want. You can't sue anybody on the internet. But this is the deal. If I wasn't the real thing, there's no way in the world I could be selling Apple or iPhones or Gucci if I wasn't a real owner or the real owner of it. It's called bootlegging and counterfeiting. And believe me, the FBI will come after you. Did you see when this young guy, his name is Trayvon Franklin, I can send you the case, he downloaded 10 copies of Deadpool and the FBI arrested him. A man came in with some Google glasses on, and he was using the glasses to look at the movie. The FBI came in and arrested the man. You guys need to wake up. If I'm selling Matrix and Terminator, been selling it for 7 years, come on. They would have arrested me.
That's right.
You would be hearing about it in the news. And I'm calling these people liars and thieves. And that would be defamation and slander if it wasn't true. They would come after me. You would see lawsuits. Why are you angry at me for telling you the truth? Why aren't you angry at the media and these people who have deceived you? And when it comes out, the greatest offenders of these people is going to be the ones that's going to come after them when you find out the truth. Wait and see. It won't take long to unplug.
Well, I'm kind of glad that you're fighting this fight, Sophia, because the big picture with this whole thing, and, you know, my asking you on the show had nothing to do with this, but you did kind of warn me about it a little bit, you know, before the show, but it had nothing to do with this. It had everything to do with the story, the art.
Yeah, the art is very important, and this is why I keep trying to tell them to get more Matrix. And all the fans, if you would read the 5-star reviews on Amazon.com, if you go in there and look at 7 pages, I think they allow you 11 pages, 7 or 11 pages. Why don't you go in and read? Why don't you see that the book is talking about Neo and Trinity waking up and the saga continue? Why don't you go in there? The reason why I got 1981 up there, but when you open up the book, it shows you the 2010 copyright that it's new material, because every time you add more new material, we have to copyright it. So my copyright starts with 81, 83, 84, 2010, 2013, and the more and more, all the copyrights keep coming behind that. But you guys got to know that I'm speaking the truth, because if I was lying to you guys, you wouldn't even need to defend. Where are the people? Where's Warner Brothers and their lawyers? Their lawyers get paid $2,000 to $3,000 an hour. They're worth billions of dollars. They don't need you guys to defend. You guys need to defend the truth, because these people will steal from you. I had copyrighted work. But the greatest thing that Joseph is pointing out, you're getting more Matrix. You're getting more Terminator, but you're not getting garbage for your money. You're getting the real Apple. You're getting the real Microsoft. That should be more important to you if you love Matrix and Terminator, not this other stuff, bickering and fighting for someone that has every means to fight for their own self if they were telling the truth. They don't need you to defend the truth if they're truthful. But you do need to find out who's been lying to you. And it's not me.
Well, I understand that. And we got to take a break. I want to get into this artificial intelligence. We are almost done with the show, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're with Sophia Stewart, the mother of the Matrix, the Oracle herself. We'll be right back, guys.
Hi there, this is Dave Scott from Spaced Out Radio, and I want you to come on a nightly journey. Starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, every Monday through Friday, you can come hang out with me and the other space travelers. We have it all from Carl the Alien bouncing on by to those misfit gnomes causing havoc. It's 3 hours of fun and entertainment on those topics the mainstream really doesn't want to touch. Come get all paranormal with us at spacedoutradio.com, and together, my friends, along with our resident guitar god Bumblefoot, we own the night.
There's a lot of strange going on in this world, and we can help you find out what's going on with you. Paranormal, cryptids, UFOs in the sky, aliens in your bedroom tickling your toes. We have the investigators you need to find out the answers you deserve. All you have to do is head to spacedoutradio.com. Your information is 100% confidential. The SOR Sightlines Report. It's free, and we're here to help.
Not ready for bed on Saturday night? Right after Spaced Out Saturdays, hop on over to S4 with Corey Ruiz and me, Eric Cooper from Forest Moon Paranormal. With S4, there are no limits to what we try and uncover. From government conspiracies to helping clean up the paranormal, no topic is safe on S4. We get to the heart of the matter, of the subjects you want to learn more about. So tune in on S4 starting at midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, only on spacedoutradio.com.
There's stories, then there's the truth. Do any of us really trust the news anymore? This is Jamie Sexton, owner of Rebel Planet News. The third Thursday of every month, I appear on spacedoutradio.com to bring you the truth you deserve, without mainstream media lies or alternative media fear-mongering. We'll get to the heart of the story and deliver the truth you're seeking. So come join us here for the Rebel Planet at spacedoutradio.com.
Hi there, I'm Butch Witkowski, lead investigator with U4 Cop. On the final Monday of every month, you can listen to me and host Dave Scott on Spaced Out Radio's Strange Days. We're going to get to the heart of the matter when it comes to what's happening out there. People are seeing and experiencing things from ET contact to Bigfoot, and I want to hear about it. Your experiences are what we investigators need to help solve these unknown mysteries. So tune in at spacedoutradio.com to the final Monday of every month from Butch Witkowski's Strange Days.
This is Eric Markham, news editor for the Spaced Out Radio's The Encounter Online. We have put together a great team of writers and journalists from all over the world to bring you top-quality paranormal stories, from alien encounters to the latest conspiracies. You won't find any of that fake news here. True stories and top-notch reporting as we look to bring these experiences to the mainstream. The Encounter Online, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Do you want to know the truth? Do UFOs exist? Are aliens real? Are the governments hiding the biggest secret in history? We're UFO seekers, and we're on a hunt for the truth. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow along with us as we journey across the United States, visiting UFO hotspots and alien hotspots, trying to document the UFO phenomenon. Catch us on Spaced Out Radio every third Monday of the month as we discuss Area 51, UFOs, and more. And also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.
Become more intimate and interactive with Spaced Out Radio. Join our Space Travelers Club with your new membership. For $5 a month, we'll provide you with special access to the website, monthly prize draws from books to psychic readings, along with monthly newsletter, private interviews, and more. Sign up today to be part of Spaced Out Radio's experience.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Don't have time to listen to Spaced Out Radio live? Wherever you are, the car, the office, the shower, or even if you're traveling, we're right here for you. Each Spaced Out Radio show can be found on iTunes, TuneIn, and on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio Show. It's the perfect way for you to catch up on our shows. For more information, just head over to our website, spacedoutradio.com, and tune in to us today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
It's Cosmic Sundays with me, Elizabeth Anglin, in Cosmic Passport. Let me take you down a 3-hour spiritual journey where we will get into everything from ET contact to Psychic Sundays. It's a journey of listening and learning together with some of the best professionals in their fields. You can tune in to Cosmic Passport at spacedoutradio.com every Sunday, starting at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern.
The opinions expressed by tonight's guest do not represent the opinions or position of Spaced Out Radio, syndicated carriers, or anyone associated with SOR Media. Listener discretion is advised. Want more information about our programming? Check out spacedoutradio.com. You can follow our host, Joe Rube, on Twitter at Lighting the Void. Call in to tonight's show at 501-777-5631. Now, entering the radio ring from Arkansas, Spaced Out Saturday host, Joe Rube.
Welcome back to Spaced Out Saturday Night. I'm your host, Joe Roop, and we're here with the mother of the Matrix, Sophia Stewart. Don't forget, guys, like I told you before, if you go to GoFundMe.com/WeOwnTheNight, you can help Spaced Out Radio get all of our new upgrades and everything that we need so we can get on terrestrial and get that moving down the road. You guys have done great. Thank you for all your support. And if you can't donate, those of you who have shared, like Trippin' in the chat room and others, thank you so much. We appreciate your support, and I know Dave Scott does. Don't forget, after the show, S4 is on, and tomorrow night, Elizabeth Anglin will be on Cosmic Passport. A little bit of things I should have done on the first show, and I'll set a few ground rules here while I can. If you're going to be, it's okay to question things. That's great. It's all right to question things. If you're going to be racist or try to be racist or try to be any of the obvious stuff, you'll probably get a warning, and then you'll probably get another warning. And, I don't want to ban or get rid of anybody for any stupid things like that. I mean, this is obvious stuff, guys, right? If you're trying to play race cards, to me, that's the same thing. Secondly, if you call in, it really hurts. I don't know about the audience, but it really hurts my ears when two people are yelling, right? Now, Sophia is taking her time to come on the show with me this late at night, and she gets this a lot, I'm sure you imagine. So if you start yelling over my guest, I'm going to have to mute you and let the guest finish, and then I'll let you finish your point. Now, if you don't like that, then you probably don't need to call in. Okay, but at some point it's got to be, we've got to have some kind of order here. Other than that, we're all going to have fun. And the call-in number, by the way, is 501-777-5631. If you want to call in and ask her any questions. And Sophia, I'm really curious now that this video is out, and I haven't seen it. I was in the Crystal Mines today. Everybody's talking about the disclosure video. I just got out. I jumped on and to do this show, and I was thinking aliens and artificial intelligence. Everybody thinks they're all different races and different breeds of alien and stuff, but artificial intelligence, I don't know if you've looked at Ray Kurzweil's work, but if they are coming from a far galaxy or a future timeline or something, maybe these people are coming from races that have already been taken over by what Kurzweil talks about, like artificial intelligence or whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
That could be, yeah, that could possibly be true. I'm in agreement with you on that, because I was telling the person who would ask that question that I have a UFO experience. All I know is that the alien ship that the Homeland Security was talking about, they sent me the stuff from the Pentagon, which I'll be glad to share with you, and I'm going to give it also to Joseph. If you guys want to see it, you can get it from him, or you can go get it from me directly from my website, email me or call me. There's a Google number there, and there's my email address. I will send it out, all the information to back up everything I'm saying. I believe that aliens exist because they sent me the information from the Pentagon. I wasn't even born when they had this information on these aliens. I believe the aliens died and they didn't know what to do with the ship. They got the ship in the documents. They've broken it down by the aerodynamics, but they don't know how it flies. I showed them how it flew. I had a dream about the ship, and I felt like I was the creator. So when you read it, I am talking about from a living experience that, that I wrote it, and they said that it was true. It was real. So that's all I can tell you guys. And I'm talking about body scanners, food scanners in 1980. And that's 30-some years before it became a reality. I'm talking about like digital downloading, computerized warfare with drones. I'm talking about all that in the Matrix Third Eye book. And if you think, or the Third Eye Matrix, if you think I'm joking about this, people, you can go to the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., and you can pull up the actual manuscript, and you can read it for yourself in the copyright. Because this is the deal. When something goes into the copyright office, if you lose any of your copies or your original, you can't get it. The only way you can get a copy out of the Library of Congress is if you're in a lawsuit and your lawyer subpoena it. I am a paralegal besides being an author, a screenwriter, a producer, and an entrepreneur. I am also a paralegal. I won my case pro se. You'll see it in the transcript. I had to fire my lawyers and get them court-ordered off the case because they were trying to sabotage my second court case. And I went in there and won it myself. So everything that I'm speaking about, I can give you paperwork so you can read it, you can make phone calls, and you can validate it. I have no problems with that. I'm just simply here to tell the truth and to let you know of the new technology that's coming in Matrix 4. And I hope that a lot of you have actually Googled and looked at the things that I'm talking about, and I hope a lot of you will request the paperwork and not just look at something old, but move on to the new. Because I had to tell some people that not too long ago, they were talking about 05 and 2013. I said, the new news is 2014. You always go by the new. You don't go by the old. You go by the new. What happened afterwards?
Yeah, you got a valid point. But am I right about this, though, in the Matrix, this Mr. Anderson character? I mean, is it just a program? Is it the government? Is it the Archons? Who is Mr. Anderson?
They are agents. They are agents. They are machines. And the new machines are coming to take the place of the old agent programs. They are programs. And I look and view them as the agents, as, the government agents, because if you look at Men in Black, and The Matrix came before any of that, a lot of these movies that you guys have seen are mimicking The Matrix and The Terminator. Terminator came out October the 26th, 1984. Matrix came out March the 31st, 1999. But the script in the book was out, it was already created, 81, 83, 84. It's already created. So all of this new technology and information that I'm talking about in the continuation, the proof is right there that all of this stuff came way back in the early 80s, before the movies were even born on the screen. You got to get the book and see with your own eyes, because that will clear it up. When you go to look at the Harry Potter movie, you get the Harry Potter book. You get the Maze book, the Maze movie. John Grisham, the Pelican Brief, and the Firm, the book. The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, the book that J.R. Tolkien wrote a long time ago. It's not Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson adapted the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings to the screen. That's J.R. Tolkien's work. The man is dead. Peter Jackson didn't make the man's work. The man's work was already made before Peter Jackson, the director, put it on the screen. The Breaking Dawn Twilight movie, the book. You guys got to realize some of your greatest, the Gravity movie, the Gravity book by the Asian writer woman. You got to realize a lot of the stuff that you're enjoying is coming from books and scripts, source work that somebody else has written and done and copyrighted. And when you look at the movies, they're films. They're not words and books. They're films. A script is nothing but camera direction. It's created so the camera knows what to capture first, second, third, or whatever. It's never even in order. An editor comes and he takes the pictures and he puts them together, and that's what you see as a movie. The first Matrix was made from a 700 storyboards, like a comic book, pictures, because they couldn't write it. So they made pictures. It's just like the little kids that's in kindergarten. They're 5 years old. They are 4 or 5. They can't write. So the teachers create pictures for them. Well, that's the way the Matrix was made, because you can't write it. So they made pictures. That's why the first Matrix was right, because they made pictures of my words. But 2 and 3, they try to change the concept. That's why you got bumped off and going in another direction. You were kind of pissed off, and then they killed it out because they were going to get caught. You were going to bust them. You were going to bust them, because the next movie, if they made another one, it was over. Then it was going to be bad for them, real bad. Because once you guys caught them lying and caught them stealing, you guys don't understand. The late John Kennedy said that the people had the power, and that the power was always with the people. You don't understand. You pay the politicians to lie to you. You're the one that's hiring them. You're the ones that are electing the presidents, the kings, the queens, or whoever is serving you. You're the one. And when you don't like something, you got the power to change it. You don't need to go to like Dorothy and the Straw Man and the Tin Man and the line. You don't need to go to the government or go to the wizard or the warlock, the witch, to get a home or get a brain, to get courage, and to get a heart. It's all inside of you. Everything is inside of you. Now, your home is where you lay your head. your heart is, if you give love, you're going to get a heart. You're going to get some love. But you have to give it in order to receive it. And if you got courage or you're a coward, you're going to find out when you get into a fight if you're a coward or you got courage.
That's right.
In a brain, what good is a brain if you don't use it?
Hey, nobody knows if they got courage or not until they get popped in the mouth for the first time.
That's right. You only find out if you're a coward or you have courage when you get into a fight. You're only going to get a brain when you use your brain. You already got it. Use it. Your home, you're looking for a home. Home is inside. It's wherever you create it. You don't need to go to the government for anything. The government is scared of you. You got the power. Why are you complaining? If you don't want something, you don't like it, change it. But change begins with you, the man in the mirror. If you don't like something, change yourself, and others see that and they change with you. They follow the man that has made the changes. I'm telling you some deep stuff here. The power is with you. They're scared of you. You know what they're scared of? They're scared of you rejecting them. But they make you think they're the ones that are powerful when they're not. That's what the Matrix is all about, to give you back your personal power, to give you back your choices. But you can only make the right choices and the right decisions if you know the truth. I'm going to tell you something. The truth hurts, but it'll piss you off at first. That's right. The truth will set you free, but a lie won't comfort you.
You know what? It always made me mad when I was young and my parents would tell me a truth that I refused to believe, even though I knew it was true. I would get angry at them, really angry, even slam my door and yell and mumble, but it would look me dead in my eye and tell me the truth.
Yeah, then you got pissed off about it, but then after a while, when it starts work on you, you couldn't do nothing but acknowledge it later on. Because that's the way the truth works, is bitter like medicine. The most bitterest medicine that a doctor gives you, and you're really sick, it's the medicine that makes you feel the best, the most nastiest medicine. Bitter to the taste. But after a while, when it works on your body, you start to feel good about yourself. And that's the way truth is. Truth is upsetting. It pisses you off. But after a while, if you would adjust to it and you start getting into it, you'll be happy about it.
Well,
that's what I have to tell you about truth. You know what I mean, Joseph?
Yeah, well, I think there's a book in Ecclesiastes where they talk about the more that you learn, the more sorrowful you become. And I asked Jordan Maxwell about this. And honestly, Sophia, I love ufology. I love the metaphysical realms. I'm out here at Board Camp Crystal Mine right now because there were, orbs and stuff. Like, I want to find out the truth. But when it comes to this esoteric stuff.
I'm talking about the orbs I'm talking about in Matrix 4.
Really?
Listen, Joseph, I will give you a copy of the Matrix 4 book, and I want to come back on after you've read it. I am not joking with you because people really need to know the truth, and it's nothing greater than seeing it with your own eyes and seeing that everything that your buddies and people have been telling you about is in the Matrix. It's in the Matrix in greater details. And the way I'm breaking it down tonight is even in finer details in the book. But people don't read anymore like they used to read. They are visual people, because you know what metaphysics means? Is when you take science and you join it with spirituality. That's metaphysics. When you take something spiritual and you put it in science fiction form, that's metaphysics.
Tech Man, you're right. At hashtag Spaced Out Radio, ignorance is bliss. And that was exactly that, what that guy took. And he was like, I wish I wouldn't have took the red pill because ignorance is bliss. Is there any truth to that, though? I mean, I know it's about waking up, but there is some sorrow to it. And like a child that's totally ignorant, you know, and when I mean ignorant, I don't mean in a bad way, but they sure are happy, you know? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, it's true. Ignorance is bliss because, you know, when people don't have to wake up, they don't have to be responsible. That's the whole thing. Just like what Cypher was doing when he was eating mush and he knew he wasn't eating any steak. As long as he pretends he's eating steak, he doesn't have to be responsible for what he's eating. So you see, because once you are responsible, you have to change. You have to do something about it. And you can't let it happen to other people because it's despicable to you. And this is where it comes in, where people are fighting against the Matrix and people are fighting for the Matrix, fighting to unplug, and others are fighting to keep them in. You see, it's all about change because you know that if you find out the truth about something, you have to do something about it. And then there's the ones that don't want to do anything about it. They just want to go on and let everything stay the same way. It's just about what you see in the news about Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauder and Charlie Rose and others. And they've admitted it. They've admitted that they've done something wrong and they went on. But you see what I'm talking about? There's some people right now fighting for them when they've already admitted to wrongdoing. How about that? The people still plugged in. What about that? Because you know that. You know I'm telling the truth about that, don't you? There are people defending them right now when they admitted that they did something wrong and they're sorry and they're repentful of it and they've taken their medicine and gotten fired or going out trying to get some help or whatever. That's the way it is.
Can I ask you another question? What do you think about, okay, let's say you got a job and you're working a job and you hate it, right? Like you hate it, like it kills your soul, but you have to because you got to pay your bills, right? At least you think you have to, but you have another thing that pulls you, like signs and things that happen in your life, almost like oracles, you could say, that are telling you that you need to go down this road, but there's no money. At least you don't see any money, but it's like, hey, you need to go this way in faith. You know, from everything I've read, they say you should go that way, but it's really scary. But nothing's really safe, is it?
Well, no, nothing is really safe. There are no guarantees for any of us. I mean, tomorrow could be our last day upon the earth. That's why we need to live right now, right here, right now, the present, and enjoy everything we got. Because nothing is promised us and no guarantees. So we should make the best of everything. We should make the best of our lives, and we should make, do the greatest things or do the things that we want to do, but not be afraid. And if you're doing a job that you don't like, and you're doing it because you're getting paid, but because you have to pay bills, then get some other job, because there are other jobs out there that's fun, and you can get paid for it, and the more fun you have, the more money you'll make. You don't have to settle for less. There's always a choice. There's always a way out. And I always say, get something else. Don't stay in something that's making you unhappy, no matter what it is. Change. Make a change, because life is about change. God says everything must change, and that we're constantly changing, and that we must make changes. We must get up and move and do new things, because that's what life was about, moving and doing and getting and being. It wasn't about going backwards. It wasn't about being stagnant or stagnated in something. It wasn't about being still. It was about moving and enjoying and being and living. Look for something else. Don't stay in something that's making you unhappy.
I'm just asking you because it's scary, because I do, I do Lighting the Void, I do Space Out Saturday, I run the Fringe FM, and people don't really know. I mean, my closest friends know, Dave Scott, Dave Cruz, they know that I gave up, and it's not the greatest job. It's like a almost $50,000 job with no guaranteed future, with no money to show for it, this radio thing. And I got to say, Sophia, this Oracle thing is insane, because everything I've needed has been given to me. And I have no idea where it happens at the right time, every time. And I don't know if it's a series of crazy coincidences or if that's the way it is.
I think it's just the way it is, because you chose to give up that $50,000 job to do something you really want that's going to make you happy and help others. And everything is given unto us when we do what is good for ourselves and others. You know what I'm saying? Remember when the Jesus' disciples in the Bible, they ran up to him and they said, Master, Master, who's the greatest? And Jesus answered, he said, the one who serves all is the greatest, because he's helping everybody. The man that speaks in the tongue, he's only helping a segment of the population. But the one that helps everyone, he's the greatest, because everybody that is healed for his help is uplifting him. You see what I'm talking about? And they're loving him, and they're giving to him, and everything comes unto him, because he's doing something to heal. Just like the man that created Hershey chocolate, and the whole world loves that chocolate. And whenever you taste that chocolate, it's so different from any generic chocolate. It's just so sweet to your soul. So you see what I'm saying? He gave us something, and then you love him for that. You elevate him for that. And that's the way life is. To get out of something that's paying you $50,000 when it's misery and it's not helping anybody and you're unhappy. It's something that's healing and it's affecting the multitude, but you're doing something to make a change, and everybody will remember your name, and they will send you love. And doing the right thing is always matter. It's always first, doing the right thing. And you chose the right thing.
Paris in the chat room wants to know what your inspiration for writing the Third Eye Matrix and the base stories and the characters of the Matrix and the Terminator. I think I might have asked that in the beginning. I don't think I asked what your inspiration was. I think I asked what caused you to write it. I guess that's the same question.
Well, no, it's not. It's a little different.
Yeah.
What really inspired me was God. I wanted to create the first metaphysical movies that would speak about God to everyone, because a lot of people don't believe in God. They just don't believe. Because the further we go into the future, the greater the machines and artificial intelligence comes in, there's going to be the argument that the machines is greater than the living souls. And if you look at God's creation, and I'm going to show you some of God's creation, if you look at the sun and you look at the fire and you look at the water and the air and the earth, these are the things that God created. And how do you know that God created those things? Because guess what? If man could put a switch on the sun tomorrow and we couldn't pay for it, we would surely die. Because without the sun, we all would die. Because it does so many things for the earth and the people that live here. And if man could put a switch on the air, we would die too, because we couldn't pay for the air that we breathe. Oh, we'd be in trouble. And the water, look, it doesn't matter about, we don't have to pay for water if we don't want to. Even if we bought a house, could you imagine a natural spring could just pop up in our backyard? We could have our own wells of water. Water is everywhere. Just look at the earth and you'll see more water than you see land almost. And our bodies are made up of water. So what I'm saying to you, that man can only put a switch on innate things, but he can't put a switch on the earth. Because if we don't want to buy a house We can go to a warmer climate and sleep on the earth itself, on the flowers and the grass. Because God has given us all these incredible living things that we can enjoy. And the man has created all the innate things. Innate means that they're objects, but they're not living objects. Like a gun is not going to get up and make no soup for you, but a person may. You know what I'm talking about? A pillow is not going to get up and get under your head because you can't move.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I'm talking about? A car is not going to take us any place unless the drones are under control by that time. It's going to be sitting there, and we'll just surely die. But the living things, we can get these things and we can utilize these things, and they're ours, and we don't have to pay for them. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, in the Matrix, the architect really seems like a jerk. Like he's just some guy that, not like a jerk, but just some guy that's playing with us and just keeps recycling this thing. And no matter what we do, it's, you know, they're just going to keep recycling this thing. Is the architect God in the Matrix, the way you put it that way? And if it is, shouldn't we question that?
The architect is not God.
Okay.
The architect is just like in the Wizard of Oz. The Wizard of Oz was, guess what? You know what Oz is, O-Z? It's how many ounces you weigh at birth, because the wizard is a warlock. He's a witch. And what is he concerned with? How much you weigh, because he's going to enslave you. And what does he enslave you with? If you go back and look at Toto, the little dog that Dorothy owns, Toto was nature. And what did the little dog? He pulled back the curtain and he revealed the fraud. That's right. That's what nature does, the cataclysm. It pulled back the curtain and reveals the fraud, that it's man pulling the levers. The architect is man. And what did God say to man? You can do anything. You have the knowledge of God. You can create anything you want, but you can't create any graven images of heaven. So all of these virtue illusions and everything that man is living in is what the architect man has created. That's right. Because he can't create what's in heaven, but he's got a graven image. So when you see all this money, and guess what? Paper money, gold, spice, bartering, horses, furs, all of that used to be money at one time. But that wasn't what was making people rich. It was the law of circulation that was making them rich, because the law of circulation is invisible. But when you practice it, the more you give, the more you receive. So when you go out there and you start giving, the more you give, the more you receive, because each man gives to himself. And when you steal, you actually take from yourself. It's deductive.
Sure.
You can't hold on. The bank robbers go out there and they keep robbing till they get killed or go to jail or go to prison. The ones, the drug dealers, you can't profit from somebody else's misery, because you didn't kill somebody with this drug money. You know, the drugs, so the money has blood. It's blood money, like blood diamonds. When you saw the movie where they were killing for the diamond is with DiCaprio, that's blood money. You see what I'm talking about?
Right.
This is why some people don't take drug money, because somebody may come to your house and shoot up your whole family and kill everybody else, and they had nothing to do with it. But it's the blood money, you know what I'm saying?
Right. David J. in the chat room says the architect and the oracle are two sides of the same coin. I don't know if he's asking a question here, but he's saying that the oracle is order and the architect could be chaos. Is there any truth to that?
Well, yeah, he's telling the truth, because that's the way everything flows. Like, there's only one energy that's going on here. God said there's only one. It can only be good. And when you go into your car, race up your car, you see the battery in there. There's only one battery propelling the car, but if you look at the battery, it has a positive charge and it has a negative charge. So God is teaching you that's how energy flows. And when the energy is flowing positively, your car is driving, it's fine. When it's flowing in the other direction, your car is burning up or burning down or not working. And that's what evil and live is, L-I-V-E. And what is the anagram? E-V-I-L. And what is evil? Going in the wrong direction, or the energy flowing backwards.
Live.
Because people that speak in evil, that's right, live is the word, L-I-V-E, going forward. Evil, E-V-I-L, the same word, but going backwards. It's the same as, you know what I'm talking about, the negative and the positive charge on the battery. He's absolutely right that the archetype, which is man, is chaos, because look what man does. Man enslaves his own kind. Isn't that chaotic? That man becomes king, president, queen. And what do? What did God tell his people when they didn't want him to lead them anymore? They said, we want a king. And then God says, okay, the king is infallible. He's like you. He's a man who's going to commit error. He's going to put your sons into the military. He's going to make concubines out of your daughters. Oh, that's because he's a man. And then there's going to be good kings and there's going to be bad kings. And look what happens to the good kings in the Bible. Look what happens to the bad kings in the Bible.
There's a caller on the air. You have a question for Sophia? Oh, they just hung up. You guys, if you just hang out for a second, I promise I'll get your call. If you're just waiting there, I haven't forgot about you. And the number's 501-777-5631. We only got about 20 minutes or so left here. I am amazed by all this. How does love fit into it? And when I say love, I do kind of mean it in the Neo-Trinity thing. Because, you know, there's awakeness, there's ignorance, and then there's being awoke, and there's the astral body, and that's really cool about the phone thing. I see where you're going with that and the umbilical cord, and I understand that now, right? I really do. Some people didn't get it, but I did. But the love between a man and a woman, that thing that happened between Trinity and Neo, that's something. Yeah. Honestly, when I fell in love for the first time in my life, that was the most alive I've ever felt, and I can say that to this day. Is that God, or is that something that, I mean, that to me is the greatest mystery, even though it's awesome, but love to me is the greatest mystery, probably the coolest thing about life.
Okay, so what is the answer about the love between Trinity and...
my question is I guess, what is my question about that? Why is that in every story? That's in every story. You know, the man and the woman thing. And one of them always ends up losing one of them. I mean, it's in every single story. Love, heartache. Not just regular family love, but male and female love.
Well, that's why I had to bring it back, you know, because in every great story there's love. If you notice that?
Yeah.
There's mystery. There's love. There's suspense. There's all these great ingredients that makes a great story.
Maybe it's attraction that I'm wondering what that is. Is that might just be a physical thing. But I know for a fact, and Preston Dennett has validated this for people that do astral travel and stuff, when you come out of your body, you come into this like desire body where all you can think about is, you know, trying to get to the female or that energy, and it overwhelms you. And I really think there's something behind all that.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I think is behind it. This is the deal. We can only experience the physical realm in a physical body. If you were in an astral body, you wouldn't be concerned with death. You wouldn't be concerned about being scared. You wouldn't be, you know, seeking love or anything, because you would not be experiencing any of those things. You can only experience those things in a physical body.
Gotcha.
See, the physical body is attached to the physical world, and everything wants a body so it can enjoy food, it can enjoy sex, it can enjoy seeing, and it can enjoy walking, running, driving a car, flying a plane, because we can only experience sensationalism and emotions and love and everything. We can experience love where we care and protect our children. We love our wives and girlfriends and fiancés and different, you know, relatives, moms, sisters. We can put our hands and we have comfort. Do you know that if we was alone and we didn't have companionship, we would die. We would surely die in this physical body because we're very vulnerable. We need love. We need someone else. We need companionship. That's why when people can't find certain companionship, they always have an animal. They always have a cat, a dog, a bird, something to care for, something to feel close to, something to feel comfort with. But that was what scientists found out, that we need someone. Go ahead.
So just to be clear here, and I really want to make sure I understand this, the Matrix, as in the movie, it was a simulated computer reality. You're saying that it is a simulated reality, but the story behind it is more than just the computer version. It's the bigger, higher spiritual thing, right?
Yes, it is. It's greater than a computer simulation. The only thing about a computer simulation is the illusions that are pulled down, and that the world is going to be more holographic. But mainly the simulation is not like we're inside of a computer, but we are being bombarded with illusions, simulated illusions that look real to us. Just like when we go to the movies. We go to the movies, we see our favorite movie star getting killed on the screen. It looks real. They're getting shot, they're getting cut, they're getting beat, raped, whatever. But in reality, we see them getting an Oscar. Come on. That's the life. What is going on here is illusions that make you scared, make illusions that make you do different things that you wouldn't do, illusions that make you feel comfort. Like you got to hear when people say to me, listen to me, they say, I'm so sorry that you got stolen from. I say, you got stolen from before. You've experienced it. The only difference is theft is theft. Whether someone steals a penny or they steal $1 billion, it's the theft thing. You experience the same feelings behind it when somebody stole your card, stole your husband, stole your boyfriend, stole your shoes, stole your coat. I had the same pain and suffering. You had that same feeling. It's just a different level of degrees of what happened. That's all. But you've already experienced this. Do you see what I'm talking about? People are fighting me about stuff that's in their own lives, but they think that it's different with me, and I don't understand that. Because when you were in school, you got your coat stolen, you got your money stolen, you got your books stolen, you got all kinds of stuff stolen. So you've experienced theft before. Do you see what I'm saying?
Exactly, I do. I'm just soaking it in.
Yeah, you've experienced heartbreak. If you got a heartbroken heart, you've experienced what it feels to be in love, petty love, puppy love, whatever.
Yeah, the first
Real
one's
love.
hard. The first love that I believe, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I know we're talking about love on a paranormal show, but I think there's some real stuff to this. The first heartbreak that you have is always the worst. At least it has for the most people I talk to. And then it seems like every relationship that you get in after that, you're in survival mode. You're
Well, yeah, because you know why? You know why it's like that? The reason why the first love is so hard, and you always experience it when you're young. Now, there are people who don't get a chance to experience when they're young.
I was young,
they
yeah.
experience it when they get older. Guess what happens? When people experience heartbreak and love when they get older, sometimes they kill. They kill the other person and kill themselves because we're supposed to experience it when we're young so we can get over it and we can learn from it, and then we can find out what real love is about. Because being in love and loving somebody is two different things. That's right.
It does.
Being in love and loving someone is two different things.
You learn that, though, with age, I think.
Exactly. You learn with age, but like I told you,
Yeah.
sometimes people miss it during the youth. But I said it was supposed to come to us in youth, so that way it prepares us, because when you're young and you get over it, and then you'll grow and you'll find somebody and you'll fall in love, and then you'll look back and say, wow, I really wasn't in love. That was puppy love. But what about the people who missed it and they get older and they experience it, and now they're in power? Because when you're a kid, you don't think, or a teenager, you don't think about killing anybody or harming anybody. But when you get older and you think you're in love and it's a puppy love, you think really negative things. And sometimes people go out and they kill people and kill themselves and kill each other, you know.
Yeah, you're right. I lost a family member over that. And, you know, a lot of men that kill themselves, it seems like that's what it's always over. Anyways, I just was kind of curious about that, because I've heard of another thing called loose, which is emotion between humans that I've heard was harvested by archons or aliens. And, you know, emotion is something that really to this day kind of perplexes me. I don't understand it. And even when I look at it as scientific, especially scientifically, I don't understand it. They say it's oxytocin or whatever coming from your brain, but there's no way it can be just a chemical.
No, I agree with you. It's not all the way just a chemical, but I'm just that I think because everybody experienced different things on different levels, you know, because Earth to me is like a big school, and it has so many things to teach, so many experiences, so many things that people need to go through. And I think that none of it's wrong, because everybody is not the same. Everybody is learning and gaining knowledge and stuff through different ways, through different sources, and it's all to be worked out. I don't think that we're supposed to be judges of all the experiences that people are going through, and there's just different conscious levels. You know, everybody's not the same. That's the whole point. Because everybody tries to put everybody on the same level, or the same. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
That's the part I think that is where everything goes wrong. It's people going through different changes, different consciousness. There are some spirits and souls here that are ancient, full of knowledge and full of help. Then there are some that are babies that are just beginning, don't even know what's going on. And then there's some just beginning to crack the codes and come into their own and starting to awaken. There's just so many different levels and so many different experiences, so many different feelings. And everybody needs to find it through themselves and not look at others being ahead or them being slow or below, because you're here to gain your own experience. You're here to gain your own knowledge. You're here to elevate on your own. And don't look around you, but look at you and find what you need. And whatever is good, whatever is pure, you know, think upon those thoughts. Whatever is good, go towards the good. Go towards the pure. You know, go for love. Go for the pure thing, the real thing, because the illusions, they don't last. The television is not going to hug you. It's not. It's not going to make any soup for you. It's not going to get up and run out there and get a doctor for you.
Not even a pot of ramen noodles, huh? Well.
Nope. It's going to put a spoon in your, listen, it's not going to put a spoon in your mouth. But, you know, loving someone, caring about someone, I think that's the most greatest and the most important thing, is to love and give, to give to others, to help others, and to have friends, real friends, and to get a warm hug, to get some love and to give love. I think that's the greatest, is giving and receiving love, because all this other stuff is nothing but illusions and divisions and subtractions.
That's why you see the oracle around children all the time and baking cookies and stuff like that, and you see the architect around just machines and nothingness and no one, right? Yeah. Exactly,
because that is chaotic. If you're around machines and the artificial intelligence, nothing. because love is the greatest. I mean, have you ever heard that song that Whitney Houston is singing, The Greatest?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people ought to listen to the lyrics. If you would go and you pull up the lyrics, you can Google the lyrics. Listen to the lyrics. The lyrics are phenomenal. It's telling you that the greatest love in the world is loving yourself. So you know that's what that song is saying? That it's the greatest love is when you love yourself, because when you love yourself, you can love others, and you can teach the children. You can teach the children if you loved yourself. So the greatest love in the world was loving yourself, because loving yourself would cause you to love others and to care about the children and teach them what would be right. And no one could judge you at the end, whether you were right or wrong. No one could judge you for your accomplishments.
I know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's very important. You can Google it, the lyrics to The Greatest. Read the lyrics and play the song, but now you know the lyrics. Listen to the words. Because, Joseph, when you see what I'm talking about, you'll understand how deep that song is and why it was so elevating. And you know what I found out, too? If people are experiencing any depression, if you guys listen to me, if you're experiencing any depression out there for Christmas and Thanksgiving, because during this time is the lowest ebb of not receiving any love. If you're experiencing any of that, play some soft gospel music. Some soft, loving gospel music will change the frequencies in your heart, and you will experience love and safe and comfort. I am not joking. Play some soft gospel music.
So it's not about the computer machine. It's a real God, right? But tech man wants to know, and this is, I think, the last question we're going to ask before we kind of close out here, just to kind of sum this up.
What did tech man say?
Is it possible that God is a matrix creator, an AI that's creating this for everybody? Love, everything, even as real as it seems. Is that possible still?
Let me tell you, that's impossible, because the machine can't feel any love. And that's the whole point. The artificial intelligence is just like your blow-up doll. Does the doll experience any love? Does it give you any love back? No. So if the artificial intelligence was God, you wouldn't know what love was. We wouldn't have any love. Because the machine can't love you. A gun doesn't have any warmth. A car doesn't have any warmth. Does a car love you?
But I love my car.
Love you?
Just
you love your car because you have a soul. Listen, you love your gun because you have a soul. You love your hat, your clothes, your jewelry, your wife, your kids, whatever, because you're giving love. So if the machine created this, there wouldn't be any love. You wouldn't know what love was. The machine can't give and create what it doesn't know and what it doesn't have.
I forgot what I know I was going to ask you now.
Yes, go ahead.
Spirits and entities, apparitions and things that we see, shadow people. Are they glitches in the Matrix, trapped dead people? Do you have any idea what do you think
they are real, because if you go and you drink and you get a DUI and you go out and you kill somebody and you wake up in jail and you don't know what happened, what do you think? Something was occupying your space and driving a car and running over and killing people? Because that's why they call it spirits. Because what happens is drugs and alcohol, they're nothing but gateways. They're portals to let things in and use and occupy your body. Your body is like a vessel, it's like a car. Evil can't get in your car unless you invite it in. Evil can't cross your threshold, just like in the vampire movie. They invited the devil in. They invited the vampire in. He couldn't have came in because evil can't come in unless you invite it in. And all you out there that's experiencing all kinds of bad stuff and bad people and bad stuff, you invited it in. Tell it to leave. Because it's a fact that evil cannot come in on you unless you invite it in or someone bring it in on you, but you have to be accepting of it. So, yeah, these things are real. They're not glitches. You go out there and do some drugs and see if it's a glitch. Right. Go out there and get drunk and get in your car and see if it's a glitch. I guarantee you'll be in a jail and see if that'll be a glitch to get you out. A glitch means that something is not real. It just keeps happening, but it ain't real. But if you drink some alcohol or you take some drugs and you harm somebody, you're going to be finding yourself and it won't be a glitch. You won't be getting out. You'll wake up to reality because you will be in that jail for about 15 or 20 years. And would you ask yourself if it was a glitch then?
Okay, I get it. Well, last question, I promise. And I ask this to a lot of people. A lot of bad things happen to children, and I don't mean just physically. I mean metaphysically. Like I used to see crazy stuff when I was a kid that scared me, shadow people, trolls, whatever, eyes open. I've read countless stories about kids that have been attacked by entities or shadows, even pushed, feet tugged, all kinds of stuff. What kind of is there a program out there that is trying to instill fear into people at an early age just to get them programmed from the jump? I wonder that sometimes.
Now listen to me very carefully, because the children has always come to me too, as I've seen some things too that happen to children. And I remember reading that God says that if man did some really bad things to children, what was going to happen to him? And I used to wonder about that. What was God talking about, But I realized as I got older that people have done some really despicable things to children. And then it's kind of weird because you think about the scripture where God is talking about the harm that they would bring to the children, that the children needed to be protected. Mm-hmm. And it's true, because the children are our future. They are our future. And we have to instill truth and love and many things into them, because they're going to take our places. They're going to take the places in the world, and they have to learn the difference between right and wrong. So it's very important that we protect our children. Protecting our children is protecting our future, and they really need protection. The people that have been hurt, they've been preying on the children. When you hear about the pedophiles and the predators, these are all people who've been hurt as babies and kids, and either they went the way of protection or they went the way of destruction.
Gotcha.
They chose that they wanted to go in. For all of us that choose to help and heal the children, we need to do more. We need to do more for the women and children which are helpless.
Well said. Sophia, can you tell everybody before we get out of here how they can find your work online and any other places you want to send them to look at your work and your books and movies, or your upcoming movie, and anything else you want to let us know before we let you go?
Yes, anybody who wants my work, you can get it on demand. You can get it from Amazon.com or Walmart, Barnes & Noble. On demand means you can order it. You can expedite it in one day. Nook Press, or you can simply go to my website. I made it cheaper, truthaboutmatrix.com or matrixterminator.com. You can Google me and find my website, but don't judge me, but read me and then decide for yourself. And contact me, because I do consultations also when people buy my book directly from me on my website. There's a Google number there and an email address. Email me, feel free. Don't be afraid. You can ask me anything you want. I will not be offended. Like I told you, I'm here with the truth. And so it will not disturb me. No matter what you say, it won't disturb me. I will come back and I will just give you the answer, show you the answer. Because I'm not here to take your personal choices from you. I'm just simply here to give you more thought, more food on things so you can make a better decision for yourself.
Sophia, thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. It's been a blast. Maybe we can do it again one day. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you for having me on here. I appreciate everything you've done. I love it.
You're welcome. All right, guys, that was Sophia Stewart. Don't forget, next weekend, we're going to do a Christmas cryptid special with the king of cryptids and dark horror, Dark Waters. You're going to love it. We'll see you guys next weekend. Thanks for coming out. Stick around for S4.
Told all the lies to myself while sleepwalking through it all. And I was knelt before the crossing when they found me all alone. Said we need someone who needs answers.